welcome to Doors and Corners, a sci-fi and fantasy film commentary podcast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Zach. And every Friday, we sit down and watch a science fiction or fantasy film and give our 2 cents on its quality, production, story, and trivia.
We watch the film together, but without sounds or visuals provided to avoid copyright issues. But if you do have access, we encourage you to join us and follow along.
Here, we like to keep things casual, and there may be discussions of spoilers or sensitive materials or language. But we do try and keep things clean and family-friendly. Ultimately, the goal of this podcast is to create the experience of us all sitting down and watching this movie together.
So get ready to hit that play button, because we're about to get started.
Damn Doors and Corners, I mean, that's where they get you.
Well, welcome back to Doors and Corners. I'm Brian.
I'm Zach.
And, I'm so excited, Zach, because we get to go back to my favorite thing of all time, Star Trek. Even though this isn't the greatest movie, I just love being in... Star Trek is still Star Trek, you know? Still excited.
So, there's this thing, okay? You know, like, they talk about the even-numbered Star Treks being bad ones, which is supposedly fixed if you add Galaxy Quest in between Insurrection and Nemesis, because then it jumps to the 09 Star Trek, and then it jumps to Star Trek Beyond.
I just think the good ones are good and the bad ones, you know.
The good ones are good and the bad ones are bad. But the thing, this is technically a bad Star Trek, which I didn't know growing up. I thought this was like, I had this weird thing where kind of like the 89 Batman that we discussed earlier this year, I thought this was the benchmark by which my family judged how good something was. That, Generations was always the best one.
Really?
Batman 89 was always the best one. And so when new ones came out, I was always like, I don't want to say I like them too much because I'm going to get told that no, the other one is the best one. When it turns out that wasn't the case at all.
But to say, does your dad love this movie?
No, he thinks it's stupid and a lame ending for Captain Kirk. But my sister Shayna loved it. And I think my sister Taryn loved it. She'll tell me after she listens to this. But I thought that this was the best Star Trek movie ever.
How old were you when you saw this for the first time, do you think?
Early enough that I don't have any memory of it. Like, it has to have been in 1994 itself. I had to have been like 3 years old. I don't have a memory of not having seen this movie.
Yeah.
We had the poster. You go look at IMDb, okay? And you have that poster that's like the Star Trek logo with this kind of planet crescent, and it's a star field, and everything's semi-transparent.
It's a killer poster.
We had that poster hanging in our house for I think it's still in my dad's garage. I think I saw it literally last time I was up there. Like, we always had that. I had it in my bedroom. This movie is a core memory.
Mm.
And it wasn't until I was about 16, 17 years old. I was really into Star Trek because I loved loved Voyager and the Elite Force video games, and I was just rewatching everything I could because I was given some of the seasons and I had some of the collections. Did you have like DVD collections, like the Borg collections?
So I don't have any of the collections. I literally have all of the original series, Next Gen, and Deep Space Nine. I have the DVD, like the packs that came out in the really early 2000s. I bought those like as they released, and I have not unpacked those in a while. But I mean, they're sitting on the very top of my bookshelf. Because I have TOS and TNG and Blu-ray now also. Like, I've upgraded all those. But the old DVD sets were such cool packaging, I'll never get rid of them.
Yeah. I see. I just had these packages. I couldn't afford the seasons. I think I had like a couple seasons of Voyager available that I'd watch every now and again. But I was rewatching all of it, and I get to Generations. And after for the first time in my life, I had actually spent time with Captain Kirk as a character. And it was actually partially your influence from our initial meeting when we saw Vantage Point and argued about Batman and Captain America in Starbucks in Auburn. We talked about Captain Kirk, and it was really the first time that I'd heard somebody sit there and say, no, he's not just a cowboy horn dog. He's actually like a really smart tactician. You just have to watch the old stuff. And so rewatching it with that mentality, I was just like, oh man, this movie should have been way better.
Yeah.
And I was it's always been a little bit of a disappointment since, and I have recognized its many flaws in the meantime, while also having a huge amount of nostalgia for it. Kind of like Independence Day, but Independence Day's a better watch.
Independence Day is definitely more fun. I would probably pick this movie more often just because I just love Star Trek that much. But no, you're not wrong. Yeah, for me, I will first. I appreciate you throwing me a bone there.
Independence Day story makes more sense.
It does.
That's saying something.
It does. No, this is. Well, first I'll just say, yeah, I still to this day I regularly find myself engaging in Captain Kirk like defense conversations, because every time I feel like, not every time, quite often, when Captain Kirk is being compared to other captains, it seems to always be the pop culture idea of Captain Kirk and not the actual character from the 3 seasons of the show and the films. And that's from
You
just
mean
like,
Super Horny Man?
yeah, and just the it's frustrating to me because does that stuff exist for a reason? Yeah, it does. But there's
For
still
the 1960s, he was getting laid a lot.
yeah, and I mean it was just there's so many instances where Captain Kirk is the thoughtful one. I mean there's so many episodes where he's the one showing restraint, where he's not sure what to do, and so he will go over and talk to Spock, or he will, ask for advice or call a meeting. Like he is a much more thoughtful captain than the pop culture idea of him. And part of that, to be fair, is Shatner has, his he has a persona that kind of helped, and just his speaking cadence. There's so many little things like that all kind of contributed to that. And William
and later
Shatner,
we'll talk about his own version
Yeah,
of Captain Kirk that he himself has written that is essentially James Bond. He sees himself as the James Bond of the Star Trek universe, and that he's the most skilled, best combatant, and he gets laid at least once a book.
Oh yes. But
But anyway,
my quick, and because I know we've got a lot to talk about here, but so 94, I think a lot of people forget that Star Trek was, I mean, this was like peak Star Trek saturation as far as just how big of a deal it was. This movie was a very big deal when it came out. Next Gen was very popular. DS9 was just kind of starting to get into its stride. Voyager was either had just premiered or was on the way. Like we were about to get into Voyager. I mean, this is like peak 90s Star Trek time, where
I want to say Voyager was 95, so I think it would have been in pre-production.
Okay, but it had been announced. I mean, there was definitely Star Trek was huge at this point. I remember when this movie came out. I had a Blockbuster Video was selling, because they used to sell merch at Blockbuster, and it was just out in theaters. Like they weren't going to get their stuff for a long time, but they already had merch for it. And I got a T-shirt with the poster on it with the the Delta with Kirk and Picard and the Enterprise D flying out of it. And I was like one of my prized like shirts. I mean, so 94, I was 12 when this came out.
Wow.
And I talked about this in all of our, the original 6 movies that we already did episodes on. Star Trek is beyond special to me. It's not just a core memory. It's a core identity. And specifically Captain Kirk is. So when this movie came out, because I also love Next Gen. It was appointment television. My family would gather. It had to be something huge going on for us not to make sure we were sitting down around our little, 24-inch color television to catch the newest episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. So as much, I love Kirk and I love the original series, but Next Gen was also huge. And I remember when All Good Things, the countdown to All Good Things coming out, they had a fan-voted, top 5 episodes that they played leading up to All Good Things, and it was hosted by Jonathan Frakes, and they went through, and it was Relics, Inner Light, Yesterday's Enterprise, and Best of Both Worlds Part 1 and Part 2. Those were, at the time, the fan-voted top 5 episodes. 5 really good episodes, by the way.
Yeah, and for some stupid reason, when you said Relics, my thought went to Masks.
Oh,
which is one of the worst episodes
it's
of the
so bad.
series.
No, it's so bad. No, it's just I think, and what's interesting is that Relics is actually a perfectly fine episode, but it was just so much fun to see
Relics is
Scotty
great.
back, right?
No, Relics is genuinely good. I mean,
Yeah.
that's peak science fiction.
the
Really,
Dyson sphere and all that.
maybe Dyson Sphere, using the existing technology that they had already created for an interesting plot contrivance that makes sense in the world with the transporter buffers acting like as a version of stasis. That's just
Oh yeah.
good stuff.
I love Relics. I think that if Scotty hadn't been in that episode, it would be considered good, but not like a top 5 episode.
Well, I mean, that's like saying that, Spider-Man No Way Home would be considered just kind of a bland Spider-Man movie if it wasn't for Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield showing up. That type of thing matters, and it creates quality.
It does, but the difference to me would be if there's a movie where, like, when you alter one thing and the entire movie falls apart, like in that, like the movie's based around that, versus you could do Relics but just have them rescue some lost stranded Starfleet officer and not change anything else about the story. It wouldn't be regarded quite as. I'm saying I'm not. I don't know why I'm picking this fight because I love the episode. I'm just saying that
we just want to fight. Let's fight.
Jimmy Doohan is so charming and so much fun, and seeing him interact, and I mean, and the fact that the story. Sorry, we're just gonna get talking about Star Trek for the next 2 hours. This is great. The story about how they built the original Enterprise bridge. Do you remember that? That they literally had to like source it from fans because they didn't have the budget to really do it.
It was mainly one particular fan who was keeping a whole bunch of these extra props, both original and ones that he'd created in his own time in his garage and basement. And they put it all together and filmed on it. It was fantastic.
Oh, it was just I love that. It's
need to.
Anyways, go ahead.
We do need to move on though, because we ourselves are on a little bit of a time crunch today, people. I'm terribly sorry. Also, I want to mess with Brian.
Okay, but sorry, I just want to say really fast, and then I will shut up and you can mess with me. My point was, Generations was a phenomenally big deal when it came out in theaters, and the 12-year-old me didn't care or recognize its flaws at the time. There definitely are there, but I just was so excited about it and seeing the next gen on big screen and everything. So my opinion of this movie, it took me a few years to kind of see it objectively, but I honestly don't care about that too much because I still have those memories of seeing this in theaters and getting to see the Enterprise D on a big screen. And I remember going
you really
with
like a big D on the screen.
So that's where I was when this movie came out. But all right, you go ahead and mess with me now.
Oh, trust me, we're gonna have talks like that next week watching First Contact because that's my childhood movie.
We are gonna do all 4 next gen movies in a row here if anybody's curious.
So I don't have 15 like I did when we watched Batman Returns, but I found some funny reviews for Star Trek. These are
Star Trek films though, right?
Star Trek movies.
Okay.
Correct.
I know Star Trek movies better than Batman movies, so I'm hoping I do better this time.
So, and I don't have that many, and they're short. So we'll go through them quick.
Quick caveat though, is this any film that is Star Trek? Like, could this be Kelvin or could this be Section 31? Like, are those possible answers?
Maybe.
Oh God, I have not seen Section 31, but go for it.
Well, that's okay because maybe you'll still understand when I say, how do you take one of the most remarkable actresses of our generation, finally getting her dues in the public eye, and then bury her beneath this cascade of unrepentant post-Bender vomit? # not my Star Trek.
That's got to be Section 31, right?
You are correct. That is
Michelle Yeoh is such a treasure, and that was just
such a treasure.
I have not seen that movie, and I have no doubt it is as bad as everybody says.
I saw several parts of it, and I just went, "What?" It's like they took the worst parts of The Expanse, or they tried to take the feel of The Expanse, mix it with molten Skittles, then mixed it with Riverdale, and then tried to make a Star Trek out of it.
Oh goodness!
Now this next one: how is a movie this horny so boring? No one can ever compare this crap to Star Wars again. George Lucas, after Taco Bell shits more exciting scripts than this. Jar Jar Binks would have improved this beige palooka.
Is this the motion picture?
That is the motion picture.
I mean, you gave it away with beige, so or the reviewer did. I'm trying to think, like, there's a couple horny Star Trek movies. But yeah, the motion pictures definitely got a little bit of that going on.
Are they allowed to? Oh, sorry.
I'm about to say I will. If you're curious, go back and watch the episode, or listen to it. I still have a genuine fondness for that movie.
Oh, totally. Now, this next one. Are they allowed to call this Star Trek? I call false advertising. I don't want to see Iowa in my Star Trek films.
Iowa? I mean, so the only time you see Iowa in a Star Trek movie is '09 Star Trek, where, Kirk is a kid or whatever.
You are correct.
Is this '09? Okay.
All right. Everything about this film stunk to high heaven. The wobbly sets, the glacial pace, the ridiculous acting, the sagging script, that terrifying mullet, everything. Truly a star wreck.
Okay. I want to say 5, but that seems like too easy of an answer. I feel like you would try to trick me a little bit. The mullet thing. I'm trying to think of the mullet. I mean, there's definitely some mullets in Star Trek 5, like, no question. I'm just going to go with 5. I think I might be wrong, though.
This is one of only 5 really bad reviews that I could find for Wrath of Khan.
Oh, see, I can't even conceive of somebody writing a bad review. I can see somebody being like, I acknowledge it's good, it's just not for me or whatever, but like, Wow. Somebody needs to give that guy a hug.
Most of the bad reviews that I found were like written in the last couple of years by people who look really young.
Yeah.
That
figures.
Okay.
Those people don't count.
Two more, and they're quick.
All right.
The Crew meets the Amish, and it's about as fun as that sounds.
That's gotta be Insurrection.
You're correct. That is Star Trek Insurrection.
The Amish. I mean, that's not wrong, but I believe they were actually a very advanced culture called the Baku, and they were really intelligent, enlightened people. They were the Amish.
Yeah, they're also immortal.
We're only talking about 600 people. How many people, Admiral? Before it's wrong.
The greatest atrocities in human history began with the relocation of a small amount of people. All right. So, last one.
All right.
So, in Star Trek, you can ride the Rainbow Road to get to heaven and hang out with the worst part of the view. More like Star Trek generational trauma.
The Rainbow. I mean, it sounds like 5, but the Rainbow Road. The cast of The View. What is? That's creative, but I'm not. I feel like.
Come on, man. More like Star Trek generational trauma.
See, I'm okay. Generational trauma. And this is a feature film that came out in theaters?
Yes, Brian.
Oh. Well, The View because of Whoopi Goldberg. So this is this movie. This is Generations. Sorry.
Yes, it is.
You know what? It's funny. Is my brain disqualified this film for some reason. I was going through all the movies. I realized I skipped this movie. Okay, so they were very on the
Star Trek,
nose
you could
with
ride
The View.
Rainbow Road. Yeah.
Oh gosh, the Nexus. The
Nexus. Oh, we're gonna talk about the Nexus.
Yeah.
Are you ready to start this thing off, man?
I am. I'm excited because well, you know what? Okay, let's do the little because we're gonna have quite a bit of bottle.
We're gonna have 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
We're gonna have 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, I remember watching this with a childhood friend, and she's like, "We're not watching the bottle fly through space," and just fast forwarding through credits. And I'm the nerdy kid who's like, "But the music is really good." And she's like, "I don't care."
I kind of understand that, to be honest.
No,
I was that kid for a couple years.
Yeah, no, I get it. And it's where, Star Trek is one of those things that I always try to put through the filter of, especially old Star Trek. I have anybody who grew up with it, you get a love of it that you can't just hammer into somebody that's being exposed to it later in life. You just, and that's perfectly fine. Not everybody. I have a message, by the way, Zach. I have a public service announcement for the internet. You ready?
David Carson sucks as a director?
Oh, that's not. He directed some fantastic episodes, man.
Sorry, continue.
Not everybody has to like what you like. Just saying there. I mean, I don't know who needs to hear that tonight, but maybe I need to hear that tonight. But you know what I mean, man? Couldn't the whole internet use a healthy dose of that? I'm just saying.
No, because then all the interestingness would be gone.
The internet would become so boring. Okay. All right. If
I'm a
you are
fighter.
listening to this and are still here for some reason, we thank you very much. And we ask you to throw us a review, throw us a comment. Let us know that you heard us, whether you're listening on a podcast service or on YouTube or,
Fight with me.
yeah. Tell us how much we're wrong. We would love that. Or tell us a movie that you would love us to review and why. Not review. We don't review movies here. We just chat about them. So come hang out on the couch and watch this movie with us. So we are going to hit that play button.
No. Details.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
We're going to start out here with Star Trek Generations from the year 1994, rated PG, 1 hour and 58 minutes long, directed by David Carson, written by Rick Berman and Ronald D. Moore. Starring, of course, Patrick Stewart, William Shatner, Malcolm McDowell, Jonathan Frakes, Brent Spiner, LeVar Burton, Michael Dorn, Gates McFadyen, Marina Sirtis, James Doohan, Walter Koenig. Where the heck did that go? And whoever plays Lursa and Bator, who for some reason I didn't save. Yep. Barbara Marsh and Gwendolyn Walsh.
Did you say Whoopi?
I did not.
Whoopi?
I don't like her.
I don't either.
No, Whoopi Goldberg is, of course.
She is, she's an Oscar-winning actress. Actress.
Whoopi!
Oscar-winning actress. All right.
No, genuinely, for some reason, I forgot to write her down.
No, that's fine. Written, directed by? Go ahead.
I said the written and directed by. David Carson is the director, which he hasn't directed very much. He's a TV director. Stopped directing back in 2007.
Yeah. Do you remember off the top of your head some of the big episodes he directed?
Off the top of my head, no. But let me go ahead and
I just grabbed him here.
I'm gonna get faster.
He did Yesterday's Enterprise. He did Redemption. He did Emissary. He did the opening for Next Gen. I just heard for DS9.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Yesterday's Enterprise is truly one of the greats for sure.
Oh yeah, that's the best episode of Next Generation.
Yeah. And actually, I will, as much as DS9 had a rough beginning, I think Emissary is a very solid pilot.
It is. The thing that brings down Emissary is unfortunately Avery Brooks acting.
He was, yeah.
It's rough in that episode, man.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. And then I'm going to talk a lot about the writers, by the way. Partially because they're really important, and partially because I watched this movie last night with their commentary, so it's very fresh in my head.
Ooh, yeah, because the story itself was done by Rick Berman, Ronald D. Moore, and Brannon Braga, which is not Brandon, it's Brannon. Weird. Yeah. But the screenplay itself was done by Moore and Braga.
Yeah, and they are both two hugely important names in 90s Trek. So,
and in science fiction.
Yeah, Ron Moore especially, but yeah, I mean they are. So we will get into that. But yeah, let's there's no alternate version of this, I don't believe, right? It's just the theatrical cut, nothing else?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. All right. Hit that play button in 3, 2, 1, go.
Paramount. It's funny. I was researching Brannon Braga because I never really thought of what did he do after Star Trek?
24, didn't he?
He did a little bit of 24, two seasons, I think.
Yeah.
And then there was this show that I actually watched that only lasted 13 episodes back in 2006 called Threshold. Got killed by the writer's strike back then. And I actually really liked it. Young and unknown Peter Dinklage. And it had Brent Spiner in it, too.
He's working on the Orville.
Yeah, that was what I was going to get to. You go through and you see him hit some stuff like Terra Nova and Flash Forward, these sci-fis that unfortunately never went anywhere. And then boom, executive producer and writer on the Orville. And I love that so much.
It's cool that Seth MacFarlane brought in, a legit 90s Star Trek guy. Because, Brannon Braga, I mean, he was a one of the bigger writers in the later half of Next Gen, and then he was one of the main guys on Voyager, for better or for worse,
Mhm.
and then he was the guy on Enterprise.
Yeah. Do you know what else he wrote?
Mission
He
Impossible
wrote.
2.
Mission Impossible 2.
Oh goodness. Well, didn't Joss Whedon come in and do some punch ups on Mission Impossible 2?
Probably. It's got his fingerprints on it.
Yeah. You know what's funny is Mission Impossible 2, just I'll say this really fast. It is a bad movie that I'm entertained by. It's objectively bad. And I still just find the Tom Cruise-ness of it just so much fun to watch. It's ridiculous, but I'll just say that.
I do need to thank it for getting Hugh Jackman into the role of Wolverine, though.
Yes, because McDowry, Scott, the guy from what is it? Not Everlast, Evermore? What's that? Drew Barrymore. All the girls were obsessed with it.
Everwood?
No, it's a movie.
Ever After?
Ever After. Yes. He was the dude in that.
Right. The Renaissance era version of Cinderella where the fairy godmother was Leonardo da Vinci.
Yes.
And she had like wings going to the ball.
But
God, that was weird.
He was very well known in a lot of the girls that I knew back then because of that movie. Because they all were obsessed with it. Ron Moore, though, it's so interesting because Brendan Braga, he's somebody who a lot of his
there it is.
His story inclinations I don't like, but he also, he's not untalented. It's hard because Ron Moore is somebody who I just like his stories so much more. But they also wrote First Contact together. So, all right, let's talk about this.
Yeah, because we're here introduced to the Enterprise B, which I really like as a ship. I think it's great. I'm really sad that we didn't get to see more.
Yeah, I like the Excelsior in general, and the refit Excelsior I like a lot. Just the little bit of visual touches they did to it.
Mm-hmm.
So originally they were trying to get the entire cast back.
Not the entire cast. They wanted Sulu. They wanted they wrote the two parts here that are played by Scotty and Chekhov to be Scott and McCoy, to the point of where they don't even change the dialogue for Chekhov. He's just McCoy.
Yeah, like
he even shows up in his whole sick bay thing. Why in the name of God would Chekhov be going to sickbay?
I mean, he's if they don't have a doctor on board, he would be, at this point in his career, he'd be very experienced in pretty much anything. Okay. I mean,
what's great about this, though, is the background. All the background actors in this scene. We have Tim Russ, who goes on to play Tuvok. We have, oh my God, I forgot her name. She's in Aliens.
Yep, and she's has the big gun.
Uh-huh, in Aliens. And then
in T2.
We also have... this one actor that we've seen in tons of things. He's one of those guys. He's just in everything.
Yeah.
He was in 24. He was in Stargate Universe. This guy's just in everything. You know who I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. He's it's funny, he has more hair in this
Yeah, he's bright red hair.
Yeah. No, I always think of him as Agent Pierce in 24. And I always forget the actors. I feel bad because he's a good actor, but I forget the actor's name. But yeah, he's here. It's interesting, too, because they retroactively came back and decided that this was Tuvok, right? There was that episode where they had him on the Excelsior.
No, he was on the Excelsior. This wasn't necessarily supposed to be...
Are you sure?
Tuvok, yeah.
Oh. Okay,
Glenn Morshower. He's in the Transformers movies. That's the big one.
That's right.
Yeah, Transformers. Yeah.
I want to really fast, because this movie does have some lines that genuinely resonate with me, and one of them, as I've been getting older, that I still will say to myself and my wife at times, is that right there when he's talking to Chekhov. Just the, I was never that young, and just his, no, you were younger. And it's just that is a line that captures aging perfectly.
Yeah. But this movie, we've talked about how it has problems already. This movie still has tons of nostalgia to me. It has some genuinely good moments. We see the return of the actually really good red uniforms.
Yeah. Well, he kept the turtlenecks.
They've got the collar and the piping.
Yeah. Well,
So
and I
good.
mean, this is a redress of the Enterprise bridge, obviously, and
Hmm.
this bridge looks great. I mean, I was going to say though, really fast. I mean, they absolutely did want the entire cast back. I mean, both Ron Moore and Brandon Braga said that they wrote it for the entire crew. They had a whole opening that it was absolutely the intent, and just became clear very quickly that they weren't going to get that, and so they had to pivot. Brought a tear to my eye. Just be
Yeah.
quiet. Um, I actually I think that this opening, generally speaking, is good. I mean, I know
Oh, this
the
is the best
Tuesday
part of the
joke,
movie.
but like this, and there is a scene with Data and Picard in stellar cartography that I think is truly excellent.
Oh yeah.
But
No,
this whole
little
opening is
things are
good.
sprinkled throughout. Like, what's his face is the villain, Malcolm McDowell, has some great lines
Oh
and
yeah,
moments.
well, and
And
he's
some really interesting
he's a
philosophy.
phenomenal actor. I mean, he's been in so many big
Mm-hmm.
things, but he really
I
knows
love
how
him.
to chew the scenery.
Yes, he does.
I notice how many of the crew of the Enterprise B are older guys, like this guy, like just like it's just, and then there's a guy in the background too. Like half the bridge crew are as old as Kirk. It seems like
Oh,
there's
this
the
whole
guy
thing
in the
here
very
of
back
the
next to Tuvok. It's like, what,
Mhm.
dude?
Yep, the trope of the Enterprise being the only ship
Oh,
in range.
and they're
I
in the
hate that.
freaking like solar system. They like.
Like they're in Earth space dock.
Yeah, they're literally. He just said just a quick stroll around the block. They're not even leaving the solar system. There's not a single ship. Are you like? They're literally in the
Like
heart
what
of
were
the
they
Federation.
doing?
There should be so many ships hanging around that could have done this. This is one of those. Okay, and
The
one
writing
thing.
faux pas of this movie.
Oh yeah, one of the things I will gladly. Too. By the way, this Captain Harrison, this actor has been in so many things.
Harriman.
He's a great actor. He's
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, what is it? Ferris Bueller?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, he did that. He's known for comedy, but he's a good actor. And he's somebody who I think didn't they write some? There's some novels that kind of fleshed out the Enterprise B a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah, they did. He didn't. He never got enough though. He's kind of the forgotten one. Like I think that, especially now, as of the unfortunate movie that is Section 31, the Captain of the Enterprise C, from yesterday's Enterprise, has gotten more airtime than this guy did.
Yeah, but
And he's got a good face, and it's like young, earnest captain who wants to prove himself. It's a really good potential jumping off point, you know?
yeah. Well, the legacy he's been handed. The idea. I also really enjoy the fact that they. I mean, people think, oh, they're just trying to play the Shatner here or whatever. Like, no. For a young captain, if you're on the Enterprise and you have Captain Kirk sitting over there, the pressure you would feel is very real. Like, I mean, if you take this universe for what it is, this would be. I'm trying to think of like a world life equivalent. I mean, this would be like a general making decisions with Patton sitting there, like looking at him, right? Like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, I don't know. What do you think I should do?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
So, but
go ahead.
he's also not stupid.
No,
Because one, like, he's not trying to run away. He just knows that his ship is ill-equipped. He
Yeah.
knows that like this was a political thing, not so much. But he's suggesting things that are smart. He's not being stupid. You know,
No.
he's just overwhelmed and
Well, and can you?
under.
They never say this out
you know?
loud, but for him, he doesn't want to risk his ship. One, because he's not familiar, he's not as accustomed to risk. And would you want to be like, I'm going to risk my ship while I've got the press and Captain Kirk sitting here? Like, you don't want to risk them, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, that's 175 people who may have just died because of that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
his acting is this is one of the things that I remembered even from childhood was this moment. Like he's got
Oh,
the
yeah.
glassy eyes, he's looking into the void essentially, and he turns and he gives up his pride because he knows that people are going to die if he doesn't.
Yeah.
And again, that's something I actually remembered as a kid and
that-
took away from it. You know?
See, and you were giving David Carson a hard time there. I actually think that shot too, where he stands up and the camera swings and the music hits just right, and it's like Kirk steps up, like that's a very effective, quick little sequence.
There is some really good stuff to it. I think that this movie just I don't even know exactly how to describe the problems with it, because there are moments of directing that are really good. A lot of
Yeah.
the performances in the movie are
Yeah.
quite good. The themes of the movie make sense and are quite good.
So it's
But yeah,
well, I was gonna say, so let me just because I wanted to talk about. I mean, again, I know it's fresh in my mind. The the two guys that wrote this. I mean, they literally wrote a few. All good things. They wrote First Contact. Like these are not bad writers. They were so upfront in their commentary about the problems with this movie, and I
was
really
it budget?
appreciated. Wait, what's that?
Was it budget?
No, they actually said that it was a weird balancing act where they had so much more money than an episode, but they also still had some constraints. No, they absolutely throw themselves under the bus, and they about multiple things where they are very open about the problems of this movie, how they had ideas for themes that they didn't connect as well as they wanted to, themes about mortality, themes about just where they wanted to revisit, like everybody does want to revisit the themes of Wrath of Khan, and
Mhm.
that they also very much fell into what they called the trap of trying to do the unexpected because they didn't want to just do what everybody expected when it came to Kirk and Picard meeting and how that went down. They really felt like they just did not explain the Nexus well at all, and that they really, as much as they praised Malcolm McDonald's acting, they said that they did a really bad job giving him any kind of an arc as a villain other than just a narcissist, essentially, is how they described it. So, I mean, they were very open about their failings and they basically said, like, the failing wasn't us as writers. They said everybody was amazing. Everybody did their job really well. We just didn't write the best movie that we could. And they were talking about the fact that they had a year and a half to write this movie and that they wrote all good things in 3 weeks. And they said, it's interesting sometimes you have too much time to guess yourself and get tons of input, and there's a lot of things that are expected of you, and all this time to just kind of screw it up versus when they were given all good things, they just like busted it out. And it's such a good episode.
I don't know how these experienced writers could have possibly decided that the best way for Kirk to go out was on a random planet because of a falling catwalk.
That was a
and
rewrite
not
too.
on the bridge of the Enterprise.
Yeah, and they talked about that. They specifically said Kirk not dying on a bridge was they flat out said that was a mistake. I mean, it's funny, if you read their mind, because it was, they said that that's what they should have done. That's what they knew they should have done. But they just were, again, trying so hard to not just do the obvious thing that they talked themselves into a bad idea, is how they described it in their commentary.
That is fascinating. Like, this is the Star Wars Episode 1 of Star Trek. It just wasn't as monumental. It was pretty monumental, but not as monumental. And it has that same feeling of, like, there's so many good things in this movie, but the writing itself and so many of the directorial decisions and writer decisions are so bad that you can never call it a good movie.
No, it's this is a bad movie with some really good moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I actually I think that despite a lot of problems I have with the decision made about his character, I think that Shatner really does a pretty good job in this movie.
I think, yeah, I like him. I really like the Nexus sequence with him that I thought was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I like his acting. He feels like he came right off of Star Trek 6.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Star Trek 6 was when was that? 91? It hadn't been that long,
Something
right?
like that. No.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think that he also too. He knows this character so well. He just kind of knew what to. And again, like, I actually dislike pretty much the entire idea of the Nexus, and it's a stupid plot device. But again, given what he had, I think that Kirk and Picard, both. I mean, again, props to Patrick Stewart, who's also just, I mean, very hot take here. He's an amazing actor. That they really do the best they can with what they're given, And there's some really good ideas in their conversations. It's just the idea of you did not expect the meeting of Kirk and Picard to be making eggs.
Yeah. But I don't know. I like it. Like, if anything, so I think that there are so many of the problems with this movie that could be changed with little tweaks. Even the Nexus could be explained, okay? Like, don't make it just this random energy ribbon. Make it a... Do you remember in Voyager, the telepathic pitcher plant?
I
Like,
don't. I'm sorry.
There's this episode of Voyager. They bring up this thing. It's called the telepathic pitcher plant. It's a life form in space that gives people visions of exactly what they want in order to attract ships into it. It'll then eat the ships and digest them slowly like a sarlacc.
Okay. How do I not remember that?
Because I believe the only one that was immune to it was Seven of Nine and Naomi Wildman.
Okay.
Or something like that.
There are a good chunk of Voyager I've only seen once, so that's probably why.
Yeah. But imagine if instead of a ribbon, it's actually an interstellar creature. Okay, kind of like Star Trek 4. Who it's just like it telepathically takes you to this perfect place, and it exists slightly out of phase with space-time, right? Like you could do that and make it an actual malevolent being, and instead of needing to blow up stars to redirect it, you need bait to attract it. And there's a MacGuffin that is bait, and you're not stuck with this kind of weird super weapon subplot.
Yeah,
this is like a good moment.
This is a good moment. I think that, I mean, Chewie Doohan literally just has one word, and it's so effective. And this is a good shot too. This wide shot where you see them.
Because this is a miniature blending into a comp shot.
Yep.
Which it's not the best in the world, but they do pretty well at getting a parallax on the image that makes it believable enough that you don't second guess it even today.
No, I mean,
you just sit there and go, it's CG, but it was actually really well done miniature and compositing work.
Well, because this, I mean, 94, we're talking, Independence Day was 2 years later. This really was that golden age of CG really being done carefully. I mean, 93 was the Jurassic Park, right? So we are in that CG is being very carefully used in small doses, but you still have amazing model work happening. I mean, from a pure visual point of view, I think this movie is really good. And actually, I'll say right away, this movie makes the Enterprise D sets look better than they ever looked in the show. Like the lighting and the cinematography. Lighting. Yeah, it is. But I'm just saying they had the time to light them right. They had the budget to, to give them a little touch up. I mean, the Enterprise D's bridge looks so good in this movie.
This was weird to me.
This was weird.
And I think it's kind of funny. It fits with what we know from Next Gen.
Oh, yeah. This is the kind of thing that they would do.
They're being goobers. They're messing with Worf. They have to give Worf something to do.
Yeah. This movie definitely struggles with utilizing the entire next gen cast in an interesting way. I mean, this is like the only thing that Worf gets that has anything like remotely interesting other than, poor Beverly barely gets anything in this movie other than like Klingons calling her ugly. They literally let Counselor Troy drive the ship and she immediately crashes it. I mean, that's a joke, right? It's been made by a lot of people, but it is fun.
If I had a nickel for every time she crashes the Starship Enterprise, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Weird that it's happened twice. Even Riker really doesn't get much to do. I mean, he gets the great little scene with Picard in the end. He's obviously there on the bridge, when the Enterprise gets destroyed by that battle. Oh my gosh. When we get there, I have some real thoughts, but, anyways,
well, they're trying to Wrath of Khan it.
Oh, they really are. And it's just, again, if you understand the Enterprise D versus, a decades-old bird of prey, just how absurd that is, even with the advantage you give that bird of prey, it's just stupid. But
it should have been a different ship.
It really should.
But they needed to reuse the explosion.
You get the explosion from. They had just filmed that 3 years earlier. They're like, we got to use it. It's a good shot. We should just use this again.
For those of you who don't know, there is a particular explosion of a Klingon bird of prey, a ship exploding in space, that is reused throughout Star Trek a minimum of 6 times. It's a running joke. Like,
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain the last time it was used was a joke.
It's Star Trek's version of the Wilhelm scream.
Oh, did you ever watch Babylon 5?
Yes, but it's been a long time and I haven't rewatched it, so I know a lot about it, but it depends what you're going to ask me as far as me knowing the answer.
There was a character on there. Her name was Lita, or Lita Alexander. Do you know who she is?
Was she the love interest, the ambassador, whatever?
Not the main one, no. She was only in about half the episodes.
She the security chief?
But
Anyways,
I can't remember exactly, but the funny thing is she was also a stunt woman. And she was a tall woman with red hair. And she very briefly is seen right there. That's one of the main cast members from Babylon 5, which was airing at this time.
Oh, gosh.
Who was just like, oh, yeah.
This is such a good... I mean,
Beverly Crusher's stunt double in this movie.
The timing here, that was not funny. That's
He's
good.
so confused as to why it wouldn't be.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, I guess... And I mean... Okay, would you agree with this statement? I think the entire Next Gen cast is very solid, but Stewart and Spiner are the two best actors out of that group.
I do agree. I think that if he had been given more to do, I think LeVar Burton really could have shown off how good he is. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
There's actually rumors that he might be getting into politics, which is interesting to me.
Interesting.
But
Brent Spiner is such a reliable actor, right? You can kind of hand him anything. And this movie, so did you know that the comedic beat throughout this movie with Brent was a studio mandate?
Was it?
Yeah. And as much as they enjoyed writing it, they were saying like it was tough to basically, we were told we needed Data humor through this movie. And it was just, they said it was hard to kind of like, because they wanted it to be funny, right? And this is where I do feel like I want to give the writers some grace. One, because they own the mistakes they made, but also just writing where you had, studios telling you what to do. You had William Shatner coming in and telling you what he wanted to do. You had
it's gonna be a thing.
You know what I mean? Like you had a lot of, it wasn't just writing an episode, right? You had to, you were given the, here's all this list of things that you must accomplish. And it was, even things like they were told you have to have Klingons. Like Klingons are a requirement. Data, funny stuff is a requirement. Patrick Stewart and Kirk have to have this one, just all these things to try to, it is difficult to write with those kind of conditions.
This was a
Stunsel, sir.
This was a really brutal thing that they do to Picard in here, though.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, remember
one of the
Family,
most
right?
legendary episodes of Next Gen is Home.
Oh, Family.
Where he what?
It's Family, but
it's called Family.
Yeah, it's the episode after Best of Both Worlds, right? You're talking about?
Yes, where he meets he reconciles with his brother. He meets his nephew, and they're just like, that nephew? Yeah, he's dead now. And is it?
And he died in a fire too. Like he died like a horrible death, which is like, oh man.
Yeah, but they did set that up in the actual episodes of them being like Luddites, pretty much.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just such a rough thing that they do. And that's one of the things about the writing that I like is the tying in of the idea of time is a fire in which we burn, which Malcolm McDowell liked that line so much that he actually engraved it on a pocket watch. And yeah, it's the whole thing with the death of his family, it does give Troy a little bit more to do.
It does.
I wish that they had done a little bit more with Troy involving Data. That just seems like the right pairing.
Yeah. She would have been a fantastic help
the counselor.
for her. Yeah. So I love the big old flashlight. Look at the guy. He's got like the That massive
Yeah.
flashlight back there. They've all got
Like,
the little ones.
Bro, my phone can do that these days.
I just remember those old, you know, do you remember the batteries that were like the big rectangular batteries that would like drop into the, you know, the cheapest plastic you've ever felt in your life, you know, and those
Yeah,
flashlights.
I'm trying to think of the movie that O'Reilly's. The heck, Jurassic Park. Okay.
Oh yeah,
When
yeah.
Ellie is running through and all that, and she has that giant freaking thing, she loads it like a gun.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I always thought of with those big flashlights.
Of course, it's a very like yellow light too. So yeah. Oh man. I mean, so yeah, there's, and it's got to be hard to. Again, you're trying to balance, you know, the time here at the same time. You're trying to give your cast something to do, but you have to kind of, you know, with a TV episode, right? You can say, well, we're going to focus on, you know, 2 or 3, you know, members of the cast, and this is kind of their episode, and you know, most of the cast is like, yeah, just wait an episode or two, and we're going to have one that focuses more on you. But like in movies, it's like, no, we don't know how many of these we're going to do. Thanks. Well, I mean, to be fair, the original crew definitely dealt with that also, where, you know, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy obviously would get a lot, and then sometimes they would give the original crew a moment here or there, but that's all you get. You know, like one good scene. Oh, you want to talk about the uniforms? Sorry, really fast? The blending of uniforms?
Yeah, there's 2 different styles of uniforms that happen here, and they kind of just like come and go. Like right now we have you know, Riker, Jonathan Frakes, wearing his normal Next Generation thing, but then later he switches to a more cut down uniform, a little bit more trim, a little bit less colorful, that was actually Avery Brooks' uniform from Captain Sisko from Deep Space Nine.
Which is why
it's actually his uniform.
The sleeves are not nearly long enough.
They fit each other.
Yes.
No,
Jonathan
like
Frakes
look at Geordi's.
is a tall
look at how
man.
baggy Geordi's is, because that's actually Cole Meany's uniform.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It had been a long time, so I had forgotten about this. Do you remember in any behind the scenes stuff talking about the fact that Brent Spiner is not a cat guy at all and actually kind of hates Spot? And he was quite frustrated about the fact that they made Spot such a big part of this movie.
Well, that's a mistake, because cats are great. You can probably hear my cat screaming in the background right now.
I do.
She wants to be fed.
Now, this is one of those. It's interesting, you know. And they were talking about this balancing. You were making you can't re-explain everything from the show, right? Like you can't. But you have people who haven't been watching the show, maybe, who are like, oh, it's a new Star Trek movie, who have been following Kirk, and they've only seen a few episodes, and you have to like reintroduce some stuff that if you're a longtime fan of the show, you know all about.
You're like, oh yeah, that's the emotion chip that he got from Lore.
And all that, and trying to balance like how you introduce this stuff, and they just were like, let's just roll with it.
Yeah, they're like, okay, I just happen to have this magic chip that will make me whole, you know.
Yeah, it is interesting. You don't see it in the show very much, but that shot also really let you see through the visor way better, and you can kind of see LeVar Burton's eyes through the visor in a way that you almost never could see in the television show.
Yeah, they really make the Enterprise dark in this thing now, like visually dark.
I love that Data's head, just the LED lights and the gray plastic. It's just, goodness.
Classic of its times.
Oh yeah. And of course, there's like a spotlight on the outside of the hole right there. It's just, again, it looks beautiful, but where is the light coming from? Why is there a light in that window shining into the room?
It's obviously supposed to be the ambient lighting coming off of the Amargosa star.
One of the things that Ron Moore kept bringing up constantly that he thought was just always hilarious in these shows was how everybody has windows to outer space, yet everybody's artwork is of space. He was just like, I don't really get that.
You think it'd be of like grassland.
Yeah, like it'd be like living on an ocean-faring ship and having a big old portrait of like a ship on the ocean in your quarters. It's just kind of funny. Yeah.
Like,
I
where
like
did
the-
you guys get this artwork? Oh, we got it from Space Goodwill.
I do like the detail here, though. This is a good scene. That Picard is like he was still in his he hadn't even changed. He had been in there. I mean, the idea that they had gone on their entire away mission and came back, and he just was he's so locked in that grief. I love how full 10 Forward here is. Like, you never had
Yeah.
the budget for this many extras in the TV show, so like 10 Forward's bustling in a way that it never got to look in the show. This whole scene, though, oh my goodness, it's so good. Like, again, Brent
Yeah.
Spiner is so just reliable as an actor. Just it's so good.
This is one of those scenes like that my family would quote all the time.
Oh yeah, this is revolting.
This is I hate this.
More,
Ooh,
please. It's just,
yeah,
oh man,
that's it. I hate this.
he's just he's so all in too, and just like the facial expression, just like his neck, his whole upper body, it's so good. I
And
wonder
the
what
idea
he was
that
really drinking.
responding to alcohol and taste that way and like sourness comes from emotion
Yeah.
is fascinating.
Yeah, or
Um,
having your emotional reaction, to interesting too. I had forgotten this was the first time the Next Gen cast switched to the new communicator style with the bar instead of the oval.
that is true. Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go.
My cat is just screaming at me for food.
That's all right.
But Malcolm McDowell. Okay, like what do you know him from?
All kinds of things. I mean, you go back all the way to like Clockwork Orange, right? I mean, he's a legendary actor.
Sadly.
And I mean, it's funny is I've actually never seen that movie. I know
Mhm.
it's a movie that I know that I would hate. But I mean, the guy
I
worked
tried
with,
watching it when I was like a real film auteur, and
Ah.
I hated it so much.
but he's undeniably a good actor. I mean, the guy's worked with some of the best. He's done a lot of TV stuff.
Here's why.
He's just got an intensity about him, right? He's also got just a very distinct voice and cadence.
I was gonna bring that up. Did you ever see the commercial that he did with the late great James Earl Jones?
I don't think so.
They're reading the texts of teenage girls in their distinct, gravelly, deep, crazy voices. He's sitting there, and with that voice of his, so deep and kind of nasally and freaky, he's just like, Tommy is such a hot hottie. And yeah, James Earl Jones, totes my goats. It's great. It's peak comedy.
So he voiced Metallo in the animated series of Superman.
Like just a regular animated series?
Yeah. Interesting.
Interesting.
He also in Justice League Unlimited. He also voiced Metallo.
Yeah, I can recognize his voice anywhere.
Yeah, it's funny. He's one of those actors who I've always been aware of him, and he is. I don't like a lot of the kind of movies that he does, but he's somebody who I respect very much as an actor. Okay.
I remember he was in some post-apocalyptic thing back in like 2008. It was called like Doomsday or something that I was kind of excited for. And then when I saw it, I'm like, this is really dumb and lame.
Okay. Do you know who his nephew is?
His nephew?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Alexander Siddig. Bashir.
Wait, I did hear that.
Bashir is his
I
nephew.
did hear that somewhere.
His
I
older
didn't- I
his-
forgot
yeah.
all about that.
The actor who plays Bashir is his older sister's son.
Fascinating, because that
Interesting.
guy, a lot of people would recognize him from a lot of various things these days. Like,
Yeah.
I remember
He's
he
in
was
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he was in Game of Thrones. He was in the Nativity Story.
Yeah. He was in
stuff like that,
24
you know?
for a few episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good. I want to say he played Ra's al Ghul in something like either Gotham or Arrow.
Well,
Uh,
he's one of those that he's one of the few actors from DS9 who kind of managed to have a post DS9 career. Peaky Blinders. That's right. He was in Peaky Blinders for a
He was in
while.
Peaky Blinders?
Yeah, he was. He played a main character for a season.
Oh.
He
How did he
did.
die?
He voiced. Oh, you're right. Yeah, he was. He was Ra's al Ghul in Gotham.
Gotham. Yep, that makes sense. It was Gotham.
Yeah. He voiced. He was a voice in Bad Batch.
Oh, that makes sense.
Avi
Um,
Singi. I don't remember this character, but anyways, yeah, he's
one episode or multiple.
I don't actually know. It doesn't say here, but yeah, he's. I mean, he's not had some like insane, career. He was in Brain of Fire, which we watched.
Yeah,
with
that's right. He
Christian
was the
Bale
radio
and-
operator. He was gonna have like a much bigger role, and then
Yeah.
it pretty much got cut down to like
Yeah.
2 scenes. He gets burnt to death in them.
He was in Kingdom of Heaven, that Ridley Scott film with
Oh
Orlando
yeah,
Bloom.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kingdom of Heaven. If you watch Kingdom of Heaven, it is an absolutely awful movie. So badly paced, badly written, badly explained. It's just Ridley Scott's worst movie. And then you watch the extended edition, and it is Ridley Scott's best movie.
I've never seen the
There's
extended
no in
edition.
between.
I've heard that it fixes that movie drastically.
Drastically. It is really good once it's fixed.
Yeah.
It's complete historical nonsense, especially regarding the character of Balian of Evelyn. But it has some really good stuff and some good action. Mr. Tricorder.
Mr. Tricorder.
I thought that was hilarious as a kid.
This is I feel like this whole sequence though, LeVar Burton's doing a good job of just like being his friend, being understanding, and also frustrating and frustrated. But this also, I feel like they wanted to do a little bit of Chief O'Brien to Geordi here, of just like if we're gonna really just give somebody a bad time, we're gonna do it to Geordi.
Right. He must suffer.
So apparently, here, when I mean, I'm skipping ahead a tiny bit. When he gets captured by Soren and taken to the Klingon ship,
Yeah.
like there is a whole like pretty intense torture sequence that was filmed that got cut out, where they really
Yeah.
like Soren was quite vicious to Geordi.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where both of the actors, like on set, were being praised for how great they did, and then they cut it, and it's so sad.
But
Like,
it's interesting
I-
because this movie is PG. It's not even PG-13.
It
I
probably
wonder-
would have made it PG-13,
Yeah.
and that's probably why they cut it.
Yeah, the way it was described, that makes sense. This
Um,
also is our last.
It reminds me of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Also had a really intense torture sequence in it. And they cut it out because they were worried it would be too disturbing.
Yeah. Okay. I remembered his gun. The whole like 90-degree flip thing on his disruptor or whatever just was always
Uh-huh.
like, all right.
CinemaSins described it as +1 CinemaSin for unnecessary pivoting.
Nice.
There,
Okay.
the idea behind the gun was apparently that it was supposed to be like a scientific instrument that was disguised as a gun, and so that was it breaking its disguise and like becoming a gun. So there's that. if you like explanations,
All right.
there's that.
It's there's a special effects shot with it that comes up here when they beam over that I'll talk about when I get to it, because this scene again, the lighting through the windows really interesting. I guess yeah, they just have a light source outside. They just have they're close enough to the star, I guess. This is like again, I'm glad they gave Troy this scene, but I almost feel like this is the one place where they could have had Beverly come in, because at this point in the show, Beverly and Picard were very close, and because she has nothing to do. I mean, I think as much as Troy doesn't get much in this movie, Worf and Beverly are like really the ones who get nothing to do in this movie.
Now, what they really should have done is they should have had Troy and Geordi following around Data with the whole emotions thing, and then had her actually on the station there to just monitor Data with the new emotions, put her in danger, maybe give her a moment, like so that there's more than just two of them there, right?
Yeah.
And then giving Beverly this moment, establishing them a little bit more as a romantic couple, or a potential romantic couple.
Yeah, but I mean, at the very least, Picard's closest friend on the ship. I mean, the person he would have been the most comfortable being this vulnerable to.
Yeah.
Because it is interesting that and again, I'm quoting Ron Moore here. He thought that it was not that this wouldn't have been like very emotional for Picard, but he actually thought that this was to have Picard be so like emotional here was a choice that he wasn't sure about for a captain, that should have been more stoic, or just he wasn't entirely sure looking back on it if he liked how far they went with how much they had Picard like crying and really just kind of breaking down here. I'm actually kind of
decision. I think this is a really good scene.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on it, because I think that there's a way that you can have him trying to put on a good front, but still show how much this is hurting him, versus really let him show it. I don't know. I think there's two ways you could do it either way, and I think Stewart's a good enough actor to pull it off either way. But I do think this is a good scene.
I think that they would have needed more time, and they just needed to really hammer home what he's going through. I think that this is a perfectly adequate way to do this for a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. Interesting though, also that they use this scene to transition right back to like the main plot, right, with the star here in a second.
Yeah,
because
but didn't they also establish in one of the other things that he was one of the first Picards to leave the solar system? Wasn't that like a big deal?
I'm pretty sure that, yeah, like the idea that he didn't stay as is it a vintner? Is that what it's called?
A vineyard?
No, but like the people who own and work vineyards, are they called vintners or something?
I hate wine.
I think that's.
I find it the most pretentious bullshit in the world.
Well, you can say that about so many things, but yeah. But anyways, I believe you're right.
Wine,
I believe it
wine takes a cake, dude.
It is definitely
wine
high up
takes
there.
the cake.
But it's so much good comedy. I think of like how much that snobbery was mined in Frasier for some comedy gold.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so despite some problems with it, I actually really like season 3 of Picard. Okay, and they have some they call back to this quite a bit with like family lineage and everything like that. And spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Star Trek Picard season 3, the revelation that he actually has a son.
It's Jack.
And yeah, Jack, which he should have had his own TV show by now, or been part of a TV show ensemble by now, but they didn't because they're stupid and decided to make freaking. Never mind. I'm not going to get into it. Terrible decision. They should have just made the TV show.
Here's Frakes in Avery Brooks's uniform. Yeah. It's way too small.
Yes. It's not way too small, but
okay,
it's
way too short. Like
beefcake.
They're similar as far as like shoulder breadth. It's just obviously Jonathan Frakes is much taller.
Yeah, much.
Oh, okay, we haven't talked about it yet. By the way, the music in this movie is genuinely good.
Oh my gosh, the overture is one of the best pieces of Star Trek music ever to this movie, and I didn't even know that until literally like maybe 2 years ago, because I just never bothered to really listen to it. I always went to First Contact, because that's such a good.
Oh, I mean, well, they got Jerry Goldsmith back for that. I mean, they got the Jerry Goldsmith back for that movie. So but this one, so it's really fast. There's a shot where he fires his disruptor, and they show Worf and Riker walking right towards him, and he shoots them, and right behind them it blows up. There is so little space between them, and there's no effect of the green blast going like by them or between them or anything, and it's just like a weird. It just doesn't make any sense, and it's always bugged me as an effects shot that didn't quite get done right.
Yeah, but okay, imagine this. All right, going back to simple things they could have done. Imagine if they were able to have Roy in this sequence, okay?
Yeah.
Like, she was there. She was being shot at. She was somehow restrained. It would give Frakes more to do. It would give... they had the Klingons decloaked. If they had some of them beam in, you could give Worf a little action sequence. I know it would cost money. I'm I'm throwing things out there that
Yeah.
would have made the crew seem involved, that could work really well. You know?
Yeah, this movie. I mean, okay, think about this, man. Because I just checked. This movie was made for only $35 million.
Originally 25, and then they asked for more money, and they went.
But that's
okay.
like, can you imagine today, like a movie that, I mean, again, granted they had a lot of sets from already here, so they saved a lot of money for that. But can you imagine making a movie with this many effect shots in today's economy for $35 million?
Oh, not just this many effects shots. Effect shots done by ILM.
Yeah.
Like the the pros.
I love that they
best
don't
in the
have
world.
pink blood. It's just regular old, human red blood.
Yeah, this is another one of those things where, like, only people from the show would understand what's going on here. This is the character of the sisters, Lursa and Beitor. They taught me the word cleavage.
About to say, this is the Cleavage sisters.
Yeah, and they end up using, like, they were recurring bad guys from the show, and they end up using their son in that other show, Deep Space Nine, and even more so in main plot point in Star Trek Online, which a lot of the plots in that are written with genuine love for Star Trek, and I gotta give them props for that. Yeah, but it just it does provide some closure for them.
Yeah, they were used as villains in some genuinely great episodes also. A lot of the good. Actually, a lot of those episodes were written by Ron Moore, because he was kind of the Klingon guy for a long time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm assuming that this is the standing set for, a Bird of Prey. They used it so many times. But this is the most dialogue Beverly gets in the entire movie right here.
Yeah, like there's a whole bunch of other dialogue that she has, but it's all muted because it's through Geordie Spicer.
Yeah. Oh, man, look at how far up his arms. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by Frakes' uniform. His sleeves like up to his elbow.
I swear, that's the first time that we hear Jonathan Frakes say James Kirk.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a cool moment.
It is. You know what? I appreciate, though, that they do... Yes, that moment in Starfleet history would be well known. Like, I'm glad that they gave it where he immediately be like, oh yeah, that's when Kirk died. Like, I mean, of course. Like, I mean, it would be a very notable day. I mean, it would be like referencing, a major military historical moment to somebody in the military. So I'm glad that they gave that a moment where, I mean, I think it would have been a bad decision if she'd had to like remind him, like, oh yeah, that's when, and like, oh, that's, like, I'm just glad that he knew it, Okay,
So
I do
scene
not.
Here.
Yeah, I have to say,
What?
I just don't like this stuff. I never was a huge fan of Guinan. Part of that's because yes, I have a bias against.
You're racist.
Thanks, Zach. I actually don't even think that she's a bad actress. The character of Guinan, even in episodes where she was great, because she was in Best of Both Worlds and she was in Yesterday's Enterprise, just the idea of kind of she just knows things.
The wise old mystic.
Yeah. I don't really like those characters in most stories, honestly. I like that this movie, I guess, in a tiny way gives her some reason to know. But there's a level of authority that she kind of assumes with Picard specifically, and they make it about that they're friends, they're old friends, and he trusts her. But it's, I don't know, it just always annoyed me. Like I found it like specifically in Yesterday's Enterprise, she's the part of that story that I find really annoying, that she just like knows somehow, and it's just like, no, you need to tell all those people to go die, and just based on
she has multiverse senses.
Yes, maybe.
She's Doctor Strange.
But I also
okay. The reason why I always remember this scene
Why?
is because of in the very early days of YouTube, and they had just announced this Star Trek prequel that was somehow going to involve Kirk. Somebody made a fan trailer of a movie that, what if you had a sequel to Nemesis that was Picard versus a time-traveling Kirk. and he was crazy. It was this fake trailer. It was the dawn of the fake movie trailer
Okay.
for Star Trek 11. And they used this scene of Guinan, but they replaced her dialogue with that of the dialogue of the Oracle, talking about from the Matrix Reloaded, talking about Agent Smith and like how he's going to destroy everything, and you are the only one who can stop him. And I watched that trailer so many times because I thought it was so cool. I was like 15 or 14 at the time, and it just burned that moment into my brain.
Yeah, this is
good old LeVar Burton here.
Yeah, and you did say this earlier. I completely agree. LeVar Burton is a fantastic actor. If you see some of his other stuff, he's no slouch in the acting department.
Yeah,
and it would have been cool to
he
see.
did really good in Picard season 3. Like his character in that was great.
That was good. I mean, I struggle with Picard season 3 because the emotional neurons in my brain really enjoyed a lot of what I got to see with the crew and the nostalgia and just all the good feelers. And I also just don't like the story.
Okay, you see, that's a thing that there's aspects of the story that are annoying, but I actually like how kind of genuine sci-fi some of the story is.
I'm tired of the Borg. I thought that they misused the changelings. It just didn't. Yeah, it's all right. It's definitely not the movie to talk about it. It's just a lot of the story that really bugged me.
Parts of it did read like fan fiction for sure, but I don't know. I didn't mind it. I liked the characters coming back. I liked that they went to each of the characters and said, "Where do you think your characters would be at this time?" And the only one that they had to like really force was Gates McFadden.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just like, we don't want to do this to you, but this is where we need the character. Tell us what you want the character to do, and we'll give it to her.
No, I liked
like,
all.
I want to be an admiral.
Yeah,
good. You're an admiral.
I liked all of the individuals. Like, I mean, I liked the characters and like their beats. It's just the broader strokes of like the plot happening around them is what I didn't like. But
I loved it. I thought it was so well. I'm not gonna say I loved it. I really appreciated a lot of what they tried to do. And I liked the mixing of all the different 90s shows.
Yeah. This sequence though, like I'm going to say, like this is great. You have two just amazing actors here talking about fear and just like they're having this genuine conversation. Again, Spiner's just like really showing the struggle he's having while at the same time, trying to do his job. I think he's just really doing a good job. This set is really cool. The first time you get to see stellar cartography. I think they went on to do a lot of stellar cartography in Voyager, right?
Yeah, with the creation of Astrometrics after season 4.
That's right. Didn't Seven build that or something?
The main thing. Yeah, 7 of 9 built that with Harry Kim as part of a melding of Federation and Borg technology. Also, a mention of the USS Bozeman right there from the absolutely wonderful time-traveling Groundhog Day episode.
Yep.
What was the name of that episode?
Cause and Effect.
In my head. Cause and Effect. With Kelsey Grammer as the captain of the Bozeman in a cameo, and one of Star Trek's great missed opportunities in a spin-off, because, oh my god, could you imagine a spin-off of Star Trek starring a fish out of water, man at a time captain in the form of Kelsey Grammer?
Oh yeah, even if it had been just like a miniseries or something short, it would have been great, and he would have killed it.
And there's some really good books out there. Yeah, there's some really good books out there that follow the captain of the Bozeman and his creation of the Sovereign class, which we'll see next week.
Yeah. Man, this though is just I love Picard does such a great pivot here from going to like being his friend, trying to kind of understand, and then just like pivoting here, like okay, he needs something different.
Well, it's not just that. He needs something different. This is also Picard's emotions coming out, because this is Data, somebody that he feels almost like a son about, and Data's family. He feels like he's practically raised Data.
Oh yeah.
And he just had his family die. Like, he's mad that Data's asking to essentially be put into a coma or killed,
Yeah.
and he won't have it. And that's
Oh, it's
damn
yeah, I
good
mean, it's
storytelling. Way to say
yeah, it's there's so many layers to it, which is just good. And again, you have just the actors who can do it. This okay.
Now the plot.
The word contrived comes to mind about this whole thing.
What is
Just
it?
it's so
What is that?
this whole thing. I mean, and I at least will give them credit for
Mhm.
when they're on, the planet Viridian 3, right? Viridian 3 is the planet, and Picard at least asks him, I'm sure we can get you in the Nexus some other way. And he at least brings up, like, come on, dude. Okay, there's got to be a way to get you in there. What's funny is it seems so obvious because the people on the ships that blew up in the front, you find, like, no, they're fine. They're all in the Nexus. They're actually quite happy. So,
Well,
just freaking...
that's something that if with enough exposition you could write around. But they didn't. They decided not to give the exposition. But I'm telling you, okay.
You
There's
just
him
rent
with the
a
whole-
shuttlecraft and you go fly into the thing or beam yourself into it or something. Like, it's not that hard. Like, this is...
No, but that's something you could write around. It's just like, oh, people have tried and died and X, Y, and Z. It's just like all of his simulations showing that it's so random that they only got in by complete accident. Like, you can write around that to where somebody who wants to be absolutely certain they don't die and they get to go into this amazing place.
But this plan is, if this doesn't work, he's dead because he's on a planet that is about to be destroyed. So if this is one of those where he has to know that the Nexus, which, by the way, I love the fact that the Nexus, like, passes literally through a planet and apparently doesn't cause any damage to the planet whatsoever, even though it was like gravitational forces that were tearing apart starships. But like the planet's fine when it flies over them and picks up him and Picard later in this movie. And the idea that he's so sure of that working that he's literally gambles his life on it because he puts himself on a planet with, as far as I can tell, no escape plan if it doesn't work.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the really clear and easy answer to this whole thing would have been some sort of creature. They could even have the whole trilithium thing where they make it like, oh, he doesn't need trilithium to make a bomb. Just makes it it's a creature. It's attracted to trilithium. Yeah. And he's trying to bait it somewhere that he can actually get in without having to risk being in a suit or a ship or something, right?
Yeah.
It's just they could have done something so cool and so interesting with it.
Yeah.
And that would have been less just this energy ribbon that sends you into some sort of dimensional out of time space that grants your wildest dreams. Who the hell thought of that?
Yeah.
Who in their right mind said, yeah, this is a good thing to spend $35 million on?
Yeah. So the explanation that they gave, again, and this is just me passing this along. So if Ron Moore ever listens to our podcast, well, thank you so much, by the way. Love your writing, but the way they
I'm iffy on Galactica.
The way that they said it,
well, I'm not, but
was they essentially were told, well, you have to get Kirk and Picard together, but we've done time travel a lot, and they already had started talking about All Good Things and then First Contact, and like, we're about to do time travel again. So essentially they needed to get modern day Kirk and Picard together and not do time travel. And so it was like concocting a plot device that would get them together without having them travel through time in any kind of traditional sense. And just like, this is what they came up with. Just
like, this?
Yeah.
This?
I'm not saying that makes it better. I'm just saying that's what they said.
And the idea of something that takes 11 seconds to reach the sun, like, that's so
fast.
Warp, right?
Oh, that's warp speed. I mean, it takes light. What is it? 8 or 11 minutes from the sun to Earth?
It's like 38.
No.
Wait, no.
It's either
right.
8 or 11. For some reason, I know one of those is true.
I think it must be 8.
How far is?
I don't know.
It is. Oh, come on.
8 minutes.
8 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. So there.
Why was I thinking 38? Something is 38 minutes.
I'm sure they're. Well, no. That's how long you can maintain a stable wormhole.
Oh no, that's 33 minutes.
Okay.
Those of you who don't know, we're talking about Stargate.
I love here that this is there's no like in the show all the time they would do like mute right on like the view screen, but Riker's like I don't care I'm just gonna talk to you knowing they can hear me.
I like Riker sort of like he passes behind Picard in such like there's something about his movement that's so like evil vizier or like gossipy girl. Yeah.
This is also like, and again, they were talking about. They sat down. They're like, okay, so we've got to get Picard down on the planet with Soren, and we got to get Geordi back to the ship, and we got to figure out how to do this. And just, you write yourself into these situations where you're like, okay, now we got to like make this work like plausible, and the idea that how would the Klingons have any assurance here that they didn't just beam Picard back or something? Like, there's just. This is so just plotty, hand-wavy stuff happening here.
Well, because they're more evolved humans, and of course they would never break their word.
Yes. Okay, so this is a famous shooting location out in the desert of Southern California. What is this? I forget what this is called. Devil's something.
Joshua Tree?
No, they shot a lot of Star Trek out in this valley. This has been a lot of. I think this is where Kirk fought the Gorn.
That was Joshua Tree.
No, that wasn't.
Fight me. Fight me like the Gorn.
That was by Joshua Tree, but Did Kirk fight? Yeah.
Where did Kirk fight the Gorn? I met the Gorn.
Nice.
The actor who was in the suit.
Really?
He was at a convention. Yeah,
cool.
He was just sitting there because his booth was right next to Richard Keel, Jaws from James Bond, and he was hanging out, and so my dad was talking to Richard Keel, and I ended up talking to the Gorn, and we ended up having a conversation. It was cool. Nobody knew that he was the Gorn for a long time, and he didn't think that it was a big deal because he didn't follow Star Trek. And then so he's like, "Oh my God, we've been looking for you."
This is such mesmerizing podcasting, me Googling things while we do it, so sorry.
And me just ranting about the Gorn.
That's all right.
Yeah, but here, like, she has a lot to say on here.
Oh, yeah, but it's all
just don't hear anything.
silent. And, of course, the Klingons are like, ew.
It is funny, though.
Yeah.
It's good humor. So repulsive.
Vasquez rocks.
Vasquez rocks.
Vasquez rocks. Because it was. Oh no, it's close to it. It's in the same area, but it's not the exact same area. Sorry, I was wrong. Okay,
You mean it's in Joshua Tree?
I always thought it's not in Joshua Tree. Okay, that's a national park. It's huge. It's not where the trees are. Anyways, okay, this even as a kid, because I had come from the series, obviously. I wanted them to, and I get why they didn't, but I wanted them to show the Klingons see Geordi's vision like through the visor, like because there were a few episodes of the show where they showed like how Geordi sees. And I just thought it was interesting that his visor is just giving them like a camera view, basically.
There have been some Family Guy jokes on what Geordi sees that are pretty funny.
This is a good line right here. Like this little moment here, Picard this would be like probably one of the most effective tries you could do, right?
Yeah.
Just be like, and then the whole. So what? Apparently, after this nice try, all this follow up, this was all reshoots that they realized they needed to flesh out Soren a little bit better, and so they went back and they filmed a bunch of this later to give him more dialogue, to give him just some more meat to his character. That originally it was just like nice try, and then they moved on. I'm glad though, because there's some really good dialogue here.
Yeah, they would need to. I mean, this is just such an important thing to establish,
Because there's actually two. I mean, this is the closest you ever get, I think, to not necessarily understanding or sorry, not sympathizing with Soren, but at least understanding his point of view. That he's just so, I mean, it's what he's justifying the fact that like it just doesn't matter. Like the people who are going to die, him chasing it, it's just this is justification, but kind of dressed up in some fun sci-fi conceptual language. But I like it.
It's one of those things for me where, oddly enough, these Star Trek movies, the Next Generation movies, their villains are actually like they've got more meat than they should for as mediocre of movies as they are.
Yeah.
Like I think Soren might even be the weakest, but like, the Borg Queen is just charismatic and interesting and fun to watch. The Sona,
Worf in a chair.
The evil admiral. Oh my God, Worf is in a chair.
Yeah, he finally got a chair. Look at him back there. He's sitting down.
And right when he gets a chair, the ship blows up.
It was not my fault. Okay.
And
okay, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Life forms.
But
it's just like the Sona from Insurrection and stuff like that. They all have meat to their motivations. It's actually like not bad,
I guess Brent Spiner really thought that scene. He was like, kind of rolled his eyes. He's like, "You guys seriously want me to do this?"
I bet.
But he did it. He's like, "I'll sell it." So here is Geordi in Colm Meaney's uniform, right there. You could tell that it's like too long. The sleeves are like down halfway into his hands. Okay, this though. Okay, can I talk about the battle? Because I just freaking hate this.
Okay.
Is you understand a Galaxy class ship versus this freaking bird of prey, and yes, they get a lucky shot or two in, but the Enterprise literally they fire their phasers once. And then it's like, what are we going to do? We got to like come up with a plan. It's like, no, just freaking unload on this thing. The Enterprise D could have destroyed this bird of prey with its shields up and everything in a matter of seconds without any extra help. It's so frustrating to me because even if you wanted to destroy the Enterprise D here, even if you made that decision, it's such a pathetic like fight back. Like that's it. That one phaser shot. And I'm as somebody who's like very into the tech of Star Trek and the ships, I've drawn the Enterprise D so many times. Like, I have the technical manual back right behind me on a shelf. The Enterprise D was a beast. And this bird of prey would have been nothing to it for it to take out. I mean, it's frustrating because they should have given it like you said, a better ship, a more powerful ship, at the very least. Show like this scenario. Riker should have been court-martialed for what he did here, for how he handled this, because this is so ridiculous. He's so incompetent in this scene, and it pisses me off.
The real Riker maneuver.
Okay, I'm done ranting, but I mean, what are your thoughts on this battle? Because I'm sure you got a good,
it's
a
the
more
same
articulate
thing.
answer.
As a fan of Star Wars in particular, and especially the beginning of the next movie, like I wanted a space battle.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be something bigger, something that you can drop Kirk into the middle of, and he's the one who saves the day while the Enterprise is like really outgunned. How hard would it have been to, I mean, probably incredibly hard. I don't know. I'm not in movie production, but to have them in some sort of like crazy experimental bird of prey that was stolen.
Yeah.
Something. Or had something in there where
that was a good stunt.
The big explosion. Yeah, the bridge is destroyed.
And the bridge is full of rocks as usual, right?
Yeah. So that's right.
Why
is the
Star
bridge
Trek
full of rubble
panels?
and rocks?
Why is it full?
It's like, okay, did you watch Discovery where they just straight up had the jets of fire that are at like a Rammstein concert or something?
I probably didn't.
Just in the side of the walls, and they were just jetting out occasionally, and they look like just bad pyrotechnics for like a whole season.
If I did see it, I don't remember. There's the shot.
Ah, there it is.
Yep.
Yep.
That bird of prey destruction
many
shot
times.
has been used many times. Well, yeah, it was a good-looking model.
Many
Oh, here, there's a background actor who steals this from Brent. He like does a fist pump before
Just the
Brent
guy
does
who's
it.
super smiley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently they didn't catch that the day of, and they were so mad because they wanted to go back and refilm it and tell that extra. Do not copy Data.
I don't think he would even be in that scene.
No, he wouldn't. He would have not been requested to come back.
No, he would have been punted out the window.
Yeah, like, dude, your job is to stand there and let Data have his moment. Oh man. So yeah, I
Crazy,
definitely
crazy.
this is a situation where, you know, their instincts to try to subvert expectations. There's that fun phrase, right? You know, Last Jedi fans are gonna love that phrase, of not doing what was expected, and we were, you know, not given Kirk being thrown into a battle, Kirk somehow being in a ship, somehow either clashing with Picard first or coming in to save. I don't know, just Kirk needed to be on a ship in the end of this, and somehow involved in I don't know, some space. And this is where you get into like you're changing the movie drastically at this point. So, you know, we typically don't say fix a movie by changing it drastically. But it's
This needed to be changed drastically.
Yeah. Because the thing is, too, a lot of the stuff that's shot up here, I think, is shot well. I think you've got good actors here who are, you know, having some good conversations, and you know, for what it is, it's fine. It's just so like this is Kirk's end, and you know, so they directly. Have you ever seen the old John Wayne movie, Iwo Jima, The Sands of Iwo Jima?
Which one?
The Sands of Iwo Jima with John Wayne.
Long time ago. Yeah.
Okay, so that one, do you remember? It's famously one of the very few movies where John Wayne dies.
Yes, I do remember that.
And the idea that, you know, he's this you know, big tough, he's John Wayne, right? And that he just randomly just gets like shot, and it's just kind of out of nowhere. And the idea that and it was this powerful moment of like, oh my gosh, like he's dead. And they specifically cited that, saying that that's what they were kind of trying to go for, the idea that like Kirk kind of dies in a way that you just wouldn't expect for like a big hero to die. Because in the original, they reshot the whole ending. In the original ending, he did just get killed by being shot by Soren. Just that straightforward. And they were trying to go for like that. And then they basically got into a situation where they're like, well, that didn't work at all, because they did test audience screenings and it was like, that's awful. Everybody hates it. But they couldn't redo the entire end of the movie. They only had enough money to go back and change stuff on that location. And so the bridge thing was what they came up with is like slightly better than him just being shot, which I get what they were going for, but it still is just so disappointing as an end for Kirk.
Yeah. Yeah, the saucer, bringing back the saucer separation.
Oh, yeah.
Was a choice. I always kind of hated it on the Galaxy class. I thought it looked terrible.
Really?
It just turns into a flying saucer, and the other one looks like a chicken.
I always thought it was. I mean, so whenever it happened on the show, it was kind of a cool special event, right? You know,
It only happened once or twice. It only happened twice.
Yeah, they did it in the pilot. They did it in Best of Both Worlds, and they did it in one other episode where Riker was going back to. Oh, it was such a forgettable episode. It was the episode where Picard and like I think Yar and somebody else, they were down, and there was like a drone that kept like adapting, and like they would destroy it and then it would come back, and it was like this weird banana shaped like combat drone, and Riker basically left orbit to save because the ship was going to get destroyed, and he came back with the Star Drive section, and he beamed up Picard. You know, they basically saved the day, right? They beam up Picard, and Picard says, you know, I'm pretty sure that I left you with a whole ship. I want the whole ship back before I take command again. I remember that. Sorry, that's a lot to talk about. A very forgettable episode.
Yeah, I don't remember. Season 1 of TNG is one of those that
it's rough.
I don't think I've watched it all the way through in 20 years.
Yeah, the highlights are genuinely good, but so much of it is just bad.
I remember Sharzhanka, the little girl who's like telepathically communicating with Data.
Oh,
and
Data.
the
Pen
really
pals.
bad sets. Pen
Yes.
pals.
Yep. My mom was so mad
There we
about that.
go.
My mom was like
Mine too.
so
With
mad
Data
that Data
cusses.
swore. Man, Soren
Yeah.
took a long time climbing that ladder. Just gotta say.
Yeah.
This poor shot of Picard, just like I
He's
just
getting
felt bad for him.
sandwiched.
Oh
Right?
man. This is one of
It's like-
those too. Like, I mean, I get it. Movies do this all the time, but like, as shown right here, Picard's dead. Like, there's no way.
I mean, clearly after the first shot, it cleared up enough that he was able to tumble out, and then
Yeah.
his little extra spread, and he's hiding in a little rock crevice.
Yeah.
He's-
I mean, again, I mean, that's something that 90% of all action films are guilty of. So it's. I'm just saying that.
Riker looks like such a grub in this scene, just this scruffy, angry man, and I love it.
Oh, it's good. And then this, like, you get everybody on the bunk beds. They're all going to fall over. This sequence, though, like the model work of the saucer landing, looks good.
Yeah. No, this whole thing, the use of CG and practical effects in this are excellent.
Yeah.
Like in several of the videos that I was watching talking about this movie, they're just like, there's a lot of really bad things about this movie. This crash sequence isn't one of them.
No.
I think it was Caravan of Garbage who might have said that one. There's a couple people that I watched.
This is where you really wish
yeah.
you had a seatbelt, right?
Right? They actually built this saucer section. It was something like 15 feet wide, and they built a whole miniature landscape of this planet, and they ran it into it on a line. And they did it with significant force.
Oh, man.
They wanted the saucer to actually break in half, but there was no way that they could do it practically or CG that it would look quite right.
Yeah,
So they decided to just keep it.
I'm glad they didn't. Oh, did you know that they literally got this idea? Again, I'm pointing back to myself on an audio-only podcast, to the Star Trek Next Generation technical manual. That's Michael, what's his name? Okuza? I can't pronounce his last name, but he was the one who designed the whole did a lot of the production work to make the look of Next Gen. Anyways, he had written in that technical manual that the separation was designed for emergency planetary landing, and he wrote that years before this movie came out, and they literally took that from the technical manual and when they wrote this this part of the movie.
I have a question.
Go for it. That's a good
If
shot.
that is
right
the case, it's a very good shot. If that is the case, why is sickbay in the lower section?
Well, no, it wasn't the main sick bay. That was like auxiliary sick bay. The primary sick bay is up on the saucer.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Sick bay is absolutely in the
Crusher
saucer
was
section.
down in an auxiliary sick bay and needed to get all of the.
No, she was
people
down
out.
there evacuating people out of like backup sick bay.
Is that just where the comatose patients and people
I mean,
with food
I'm
poisoning are kept?
talking a little bit just as somebody who's just trying to explain it, because they use the set for the main sick bay. But no, if you look at any official diagrams of the Enterprise D, sick bay is like on deck 7 or 8 or something like that. It's in the main area.
I'm looking it up now.
Go for it.
Where is sick bay?
On the Enterprise D.
Enterprise D. Why is sick bay located in the star drive and not the saucer section? Sick bay had previously been established to be in the saucer on deck 12.
There we go.
According to the technical manual, it's on deck 12.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's 100% on the main saucer, because they show constantly sickbay being in like what I almost think of as like the residential section of the Enterprise D.
Yeah.
Poor Picard. Okay, I also I wonder if this really was as simple as they needed Shatner to have his moment as like the fighting captain. Picard just gets his butt kicked here. Like, Soren's this old guy, and he just like Picard gets one good hit in here, and other than that, just gets outfought drastically by Soren.
Right?
Because Picard's, he's for his age, he's pretty fit, but like right there, he's just like throwing haymakers. He gets that one hit in there, and then Soren's just like, no, I'm just gonna humiliate you.
I mean, If
Like this,
I mean,
right
if this
here,
guy's
and
as
headbutts
old
him.
as he is, and he's been hanging out with Klingons, then I'm sure that he has
He's got some
gotten
moves.
some self-defense classes in.
Yeah.
But the thing about Patrick Stewart during this era, especially, even down to today, okay, he kept in shape.
Yeah.
Like, there's photos of him from doing like plays where he had to appear shirtless around this time, and the dude is ripped. And it was actually one of his requests for Star Trek First Contact that he gets his own badass moments. And
Yeah.
damn, do they do it well.
No, they do well. Yeah, the time to the star is absurd, but you know it's fine. They couldn't stand there for like 5-6 minutes waiting for it to happen.
No.
Also, too, like the
But
dimming,
that's-
like I mean, the speed at which this planet goes dark, it does show that apparently this planet is closer than Mercury to this sun. To this sun.
Yeah, this just, I'm telling you, make it a giant space squid that feeds on emotion
this shot, though.
and puts people into a pocket dimension or something.
Yeah, this
This
shot
was on like
of
this was on the cover of the movie.
yeah, but right there, yeah,
Like that right
behind
there?
him with the Nexus flying into him. I mean,
Mhm.
I will say the Nexus looks really good. I mean, for as stupid as it is as a plot thing, it looks good. This though is sad. Okay, so
It
apparently
looks
the
like an
Enterprise D,
intestine.
everybody on the Enterprise D just gets like annihilated here. This is like sad.
Yeah,
Oh,
just boom, everybody's dead.
yeah, we just killed all the other characters.
Like, bye everybody.
Yep. Okay, this.
And okay,
What do you
it
think
took
of
me
Christmas?
years to see that all the little people on top of the saucer section of
Yeah.
that scene.
Yeah.
Okay. I hated this scene as a kid. I understand it more from an emotional level now. I still kind of hate it now because I have realized that Picard and I have a complete opposite opinion of what a happy place should look like. Because he is in this old, stuffy, Victorian England style like townhouse or manor during Christmas with all these children running around, and I don't dislike kids, but dear God. Also, the blonde child right here in the middle that's talking right now is the future John Connor from the TV show Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good actor who went a little bit too crazy and people didn't really want to work with him anymore.
Mm,
What if this had been Beverly?
interesting. This is
It
actually
kinda looks
this
like
is the director's wife, by the way.
Oh, is it?
That plays her. Yeah. No, this is where
Like-
conceptually, on paper,
Mhm.
I'm fine with this, but I hate this
Mhm.
sequence. I find this sequence obnoxious. It's played like I totally get on paper why this would be Picard's. You know, the fantasy.
It looks like
of
freaking
just-
Peter Pan. It looks like a Dickens novel.
It is, but
I hate
but that is like Picard. I mean, he would want like a Shakespearean fantasy of Christmas, you know, and just of family and the idea of all the things he never pursued in pursuit of his
See,
career.
how much more difficult would it have been to be having Christmas at his brother's vineyard, bringing his own family?
Yeah.
Like, imagine if they had
Well,
the
there's-
scene, like you were saying, where it's Crusher earlier, and maybe there's like a tender moment between the two of like holding hands or something as he's talking about the death of his
I love
nephew.
that the guy
And-
has like a Walmart like fighter plane, has like a toy back there. Sorry.
What I wouldn't give for them to have the little toy Lambda class shuttle from Star Wars.
Oh, that would have been great. Or like the Millennium Falcon or something, just really just on the nose.
Yes. But it's just like, imagine if they had a scene that had him and like his happy place is him and Beverly with some kids visiting his brother and his nephew for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, that couldn't have been cheaper?
It would,
Like,
yeah. No, I mean, and when I say
just-
that I get this all on paper, I'm not saying that I think that it's the best idea. I'm just saying I understand what they were going for, and it's not. It does work with Picard's character. I agree with you. I think that having something a little more grounded in some aspect of his real life would have made sense, because if he's fantasizing, he's literally discarded everything about his life, when in reality most people fantasize about some amalgamation of their real life and elements of, things that make it, whatever their idea of perfection is, right? I mean, that's how almost everybody I've ever talked to about, lottery scenarios or some kind of a fantasy scenario, you always blend some real things in your life that you do love along with things that you wish for, right?
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
then there's this whole thing with
Oh,
just Guinan showing up.
Yeah, but she's an echo. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
He just needs a spirit guide all of a sudden.
yeah.
Um,
And that she okay, if she's an echo from back then, she hasn't met him yet. Well, I mean, okay, hold on. From Time's Arrow, would she have known him already?
okay, so she would probably recognize him, but I'm also assuming that this is an echo. This is the Nexus speaking to him. She would have her little echo self alternate dimension because she has transdimensional
Awareness or something?
abilities. Like, she's also here. Like, it's memories of her being taken from him and memories of her being taken from herself. This is one of those things that on paper, writing a novelization would make sense. You could make it make sense, I mean.
Mm.
Yeah, that kid right there. That's John Connor from Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Okay. Yeah.
He was also in the show Heroes, and he wore way too much eyeliner, so it made a lot of sense when he came out as gay.
Oh. I do think that this is more about him just having kids himself. Like that's what they're really going
but
for.
they could have done it better.
Oh no, they absolutely could have. I'm not disagreeing. This is, and also too, I think that this sequence goes on too long. This drags. I mean, the movie grinds to a halt with any kind of momentum here.
Mhm. But it's just like with the importance of family and everything like that, and the importance of like his of his shipmates and his crew and exploration and stuff like that. I feel like Picard's fantasy would literally be the family vineyard with his family, with his crew, with his wife, his children, Renee, his brother, and like you look out and there's literally like the Enterprise above him, watching over him, like looming there. And they could have this beautiful scene of him like sitting in an Adirondack chair, looking out at a vineyard, holding hands with Crusher, while this kid's playing in the yard and his friends having a barbecue, and he looks up and there's the Enterprise like looking down at them, and it just be the kind of this perfect moment that encapsulates everything we know about Picard from the show.
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe he like looks off just past the Enterprise and he sees that pulsing star.
What is with the freaking carousel? Just
that bothers the shit out of me. Okay, carousels weird me out. I don't like them. I don't like how they look. I don't like the sound they make.
Yeah.
It's always something creepy. Carousels are for horror movies or the end of Punisher season 1. Carousels are just weird. It's where kids get abducted in movies. Carousels are bad.
We have not been able to figure out like a good time at a carousel. Oh, okay. So I don't like pretty much anything in the Nexus.
Oh, I love this.
As a concept.
No, I love this.
But I'm saying as a concept. But like these scenes work because I think Shatner is really just he's doing a good job, and apparently Patrick Stewart and William Shatner got along quite well.
Oh yeah, they wanted to do more stuff together supposedly. William Shatner is one of these people in movies who I actually believe he's chopping wood right here. I mean, he is.
Well, he's a total outdoors guy.
Avengers: Age of Ultron. Okay, you watch Age of Ultron, and Robert Downey Jr. has never chopped a log of wood in his life, and you can tell. And the thing is, I love chopping wood. There is something so great about chopping wood with an axe outdoors.
It's therapeutic.
Amazing. I want to do that almost daily, and I haven't done it in like 10 years.
It's half the reason I go camping is to chop wood.
The novels that William Shatner wrote, for those of you who don't know, William Shatner wrote several Star Trek novels that take place a little bit before and after this film. He resurrects himself in a book called The Return, which has a lot to love and a lot to hate. But he actually establishes a relationship between Picard and Kirk where they become like best friends. And they start actually taking these characters and melding them together to where you have these characters who are meeting and talking and they become good friends. And it's like, how did I never think about these characters interacting? I specifically remember, I believe it's Data, Garrick, and McCoy, okay, hanging out. And
That
they
sounds amazing.
like become unstoppable as a team. For those of you who don't know, Garrick is a character from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He is a Cardassian. He's just a simple tailor, but he's actually like a master spy, and
Yes.
he's super manipulative.
One of the best secondary characters in all of Star Trek history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, William Shatner. They absolutely wrote an outdoor, like with horses and stuff, specifically to kind of appeal to him, because William Shatner, he's a big horse guy.
Okay. Well, he asked for it, and Patrick Stewart is also an accomplished writer.
Yeah. It was, so there's that, and William Shatner is like he has, I think, a ranch, and he is like an outdoor kind of guy. So this all fit with him just fine in real life. I like the look of the vest on him. I think it looks good.
Yeah. I love how he looks in this.
He's not, quite in Wrath of Khan shape in this movie, so I think it also just helps him look good. I mean, he's
the
not
wig's
like,
a little rough.
yeah, I mean, he's not like, in some kind of awful shape, but you can tell that he's like, I'm not in the phase of my career where I gotta, to do combat roles anymore.
Okay. The eggs. Okay. We were obsessed as kids with wanting to mimic what he can do. He asked for this scene because he can do this trick with cracking eggs. And one of my sisters, I want to say it was Taryn, but I'm not sure, actually was able to do it one time where they were able to crack both the eggs at the same time, and with one hand, right here, cracks them, is able to crack both eggs into the pan at the same time.
I love
because he just has
the
these,
dill. Dilly. The way he delivers that line. Yeah, no, I can't do that. I have tried it also, and I can crack one egg one-handed, no problem, but two is I've never been able to reliably do that.
No. But I love the chemistry between these two.
Do you think that there's because they brought this up in the commentary, that Picard like figured out that something was wrong like immediately, and Kirk is like from Kirk's perspective, did he get here at the same time as Picard? Like they kind of all showed up at the same time, or has he been out there chopping wood for a long time?
Yeah, here's the thing. I think that there's a kind of ADHD effect of jumping from moment to moment, forgetting, having different perfect moments and kind of memory wiping. Or it's one of the things where it's a temporal thing, and this is actually when he just got there.
Yeah. I loved his facial expression
and grunt.
Oh yeah,
the point and grunt was a thing in my family.
Oh yeah, well, because I mean, Kirk did that like multiple times. Like Kirk's grunt, I mean, that was a thing for him. But I love the facial expression where he's like, "And I'm dead," just that. I mean, mock it or love it, but Shatner has such a distinct style. And I mean, I love it because I grew up with it, and I fully acknowledge that it's memeable and everything, but I still love it. It's just it's so him, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh. The dialogue here is really good. I like it a lot. It's just like history considers me dead.
Who am I to argue history? And then just I think the galaxy owes me one. It just also too. I like that Picard struggles with this because again,
it's the crux of the movie.
Not struggles, but there's the respect here. The Picard is a seasoned officer who's probably, if you take this as it's written, Picard's probably about the same age, right, as Kirk. I don't know exactly, but I mean, it's not like he's not Kirk's junior, but he's a man of conviction with intense opinions, but he's also talking to Kirk, who would be the legend. And so he's balancing that. He needs to get Kirk to listen, and at the same time, he's a little bit almost starstruck, I guess, or he plays that balance really well. I feel like Patrick Stewart does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I had something I was going to say.
Sorry, I'm rambling there.
Exactly no, you're good. That was a good ramble. That was a good ramble.
And then these were actually Shatner's horses that
Yes.
he rented to Paramount for, I'm sure, a nice fee, so he could ride his own horses. Quite the businessman.
Yeah.
I mean, Shatner doesn't. I mean, depending on who you're talking to, people who you know or don't know, Shatner is a creative guy. Like, he's written many books, not just Star Trek, the Tech Wars stuff. You know, he's he
did a lot of ad-libbing and writing for his
Yeah.
own on Boston Legal.
He did, yeah. Like he's not
directed
just an
many
actor. Like
episodes of that.
he has one of those creative, buzzing all the time minds. I'm sure, right?
One of the other things I like about this is that at no point does any of this stuff in the Nexus with Kirk feel like a set. And that's so rare. You know that they would just be using a lot of green screen and building on sound stages, and everything feels genuine.
Yeah.
Like you're actually there. And it gives this extra tactile feel. Also, does this music sound a lot like Deep Space Nine to you?
Oh yeah, well, it's the same composer.
Yeah. So, oh
Yeah,
man, I know
that's it.
those hills.
Yep.
God, half of California looks like this.
It
For those
really
of you
does.
who don't know, California is not just beaches. This is what California actually looks like all throughout
Oh, yeah.
the Sierras and Desolation Wilderness
Oh, yeah.
and
The mountains and the
the
foothills.
state parks just above Los Angeles
Yeah.
and the Mojave.
Well, and yeah, it's crazy that you can go up to the mountains around the Los Angeles base and then find very similar terrain, you know, in the middle of the state up around the Yosemite area and then back up towards Tahoe and where we both grew up, you know, just the foothills there. And yeah, these trees and this color grass is everywhere.
This moment, when I was older and I watched this was really good because you need that moment that kind of breaks them out of the illusion of contentment. And for Kirk, it's not just like even being told, he doesn't care. It's when the experience isn't genuine enough.
It's okay. Sorry. The subtitles. Did your subtitles say adventurous music concludes?
Yes, it did.
It's just like...
All right, so there's a book.
Oh,
that
that is
actually my
sorry.
parents-
That really cracked me up. Sorry.
There's a book that I saw in a
Adventurous music
store.
concludes.
There's actually two books that I saw in a store once, and I knew that I had to buy them. It was the authorized autobiography of James T. Kirk,
Yep, I have that
and
there
the
too.
authorized autobiography of And I remember they give a history of who Antonia is in order to make it make sense. That this part in his life would be between Star Trek 5 and Star Trek 6, and he like re-enlists. Oh, this. Okay, just listen. One of the greatest missed opportunities in all of Star Trek was the series finale of Star Trek Picard. As Picard is essentially giving his little pep talk, his little moment of, are you ready for this? 7 of 9, as she is taking command of the Enterprise G. How in the name of God did they not have Picard turn to her and give that same little line or variation thereof of
A legendary
it's just
captain told me once. Yeah, or something like that, right?
Another captain of the Enterprise once told me, gives that line of never let them take you out of that chair. Don't let them transfer you. Don't let them promote you, because from there you can make a difference. And maybe she gives just a little line, and says something along the lines of, all of the other captains of the Enterprise would have been dead before your time. And he gives like a little smirk and says something along the lines of, imagine the adventures you'll have, and leaves.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been so perfect. And instead it's just like a little like, congratulations, have a good time. And
Yeah.
I remember in that moment as it's airing, I'm like, no, the thing Kirk said to him, it would have been so perfect. My rant over.
No, that's right. You're not wrong. The other... Okay, you'll appreciate that they acknowledged one of the most, common questions that fans ask anytime there's time travel, right? Which is, Okay, so you have a chance to go back and fix it. And you choose to go back to like the last possible moment where there's no margin for error, and that's when you're going to travel back to. But, there's no good answer for that question other than, well, we need the movie to keep happening.
That's another one you could solve. Okay.
I mean, yeah, you can solve it, but
you can only be done within a certain proximity of the Nexus.
Yeah, but when
the Nexus needs to spit you out close to it.
Yeah, but but the movie never did that. The movie just made the Nexus this like, oh, you can. I mean, Guinan literally was like, you can go back anywhere. I'm like, she literally tells Picard in the Christmas scene on the carousel,
he can't go back to Earth in order to stop his nephew from burning to death.
Yeah. But but according to her dialogue, he could have, and this is where it's one of those things that just, most time travel, it's the whole Marty McFly. Why do you go back with only a 10-minute margin for error right at the end of Back to the Future? It's just like, because at some point you just need the movie to keep happening, right? You can't redo the whole thing, but man, so yeah, this was all reshot. Apparently, because it was so bad with test screenings that they're like, you can't just have him shoot Kirk. You gotta, but here at least Kirk, he gets his good hit in, right, and is able to.
He gets his licks.
Yeah.
But that somebody did a mock-up, one of those things that somebody did with AI that's just fantastic, and I wish I could find it again. That was essentially like, this is how Kirk should have gone out, and it has him on an Enterprise. I think it was supposed to be the Enterprise B because they used shots from season 3 of Picard.
Oh, his hands, dude. Oh, and his head. That poor stunt guy.
Mm-hmm. Right?
I'm sure it was styrofoam that he smacked his head into, but still, man, that looked painful.
I know. That had to hurt. It's a dead man. Oh, no, that's not a dead man. Sorry. But, like, imagine this scene where Kirk is essentially like, he's gonna do something with an Enterprise where he's gonna like ram it or something, and he like there's this chance he could get off in time, but he can't, and he's like on the bridge trying to get to a turbo lift as the ship is flying itself apart, and it has it, and he ends up at the plaque, the dedication plaque, and he was just like, and it's something along the lines of, well, good enough. Like that he's on an Enterprise at least, and it concludes. And it was a really well done little scene. It had an emotion to it, Yeah. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm just gonna keep talking about stuff that I wish was different.
Yeah, this is like,
it sucks. Everything about this is dumb.
Yeah. I mean,
you have 3 fantastic actors.
Yeah, from a pure it's a cool location for sure. The stunt work here with Kirk is actually it's not bad. It's just the scenario is
like that's not a stuntman.
Yeah, the scenario itself is just crazy. Well, that's a stuntman.
It's just poo-poo. Oh yeah.
I mean, this obviously isn't here, but like the wide shot that was earlier. But
okay, let's talk about the return.
Okay. Talk about the return.
What do you think of the return?
I've always read it as just Shatner's fan fiction about himself, and so because it never bothered me because I never read it as like a real possibility. It's just kind of his fantasy, and so I enjoyed it. But I also, Kirk's always been my favorite captain, so the idea of fanficking Kirk as just like the greatest
the
of all time.
Bond of the Star Trek universe.
He
gets the girl, and
I
can do
fully
everything.
acknowledge it's absurd in many places, but I still like it a lot.
Him being like a master of batleth techniques.
Yeah.
There's because
I do remember
one of the
scene...
things that he does that I really like is that he's the one who tied the Borg to V'ger, and then tied V'ger to the Q.
Yeah, I do remember all that.
Like,
and
there's a moment where they have a Defiant class ship called the Monitor.
Yep.
And they temporarily rename it the Enterprise because it has Kirk, McCoy, Spock, Data, Worf, and Picard all on it together, like facing the Borg, and it's really cool.
But this whole thing of the idea that Kirk just, I mean, he does it. So the scene though in The Return that I did love. I was like, I want to see that in real life, and it's near at the very very beginning, and it's the idea of
He's banging the Romulan officer.
no, you pervert, no, the grave that Picard, Kirk's up at the top, and Spock standing there looking at it. And his inner monologue, and he can tell that the beaming happens inside the rocks, and he kind of smiles to himself, and it's just like the idea of okay, so the story is not over yet, but just the image of Spock standing there looking at at his friend's grave. I always thought that was a really cool image.
Now, did you know about the epilogue that they wrote for this movie that they couldn't film because Leonard Nimoy didn't want to come back?
I probably have heard about that at some point, but I don't remember it at the moment.
They were going to have a legitimate funeral for Kirk that was taking place in the same spot as his Nexus vision, so up in the foothills of California, which is supposed to be Idaho. And he's it has Spock, and they're all going into a church. It's like an old-timey church. And as he's going in there, Spock stops and feels like he can't go through the threshold. He can't cross the threshold because it'll be acknowledging that he's really gone and will never come back, because he always suspected that he would come back. And apparently one of the writers loved the scene, absolutely adored it, but they had to cut it because Leonard Nimoy was like, nah, we good.
I do like the acting in this last scene. I don't love how this is how Kirk dies, but I do think that this moment between the two of them
dialogue's good.
Yeah, it's well acted, and I love the line, it's fun. And I do enjoy the kind of openness of what is he. Wait, when he says, what do you think of the oh my?
I think it's interesting because it's something that what's-his-face Shatner did himself, and the way that he put it is that he felt that it was Kirk looking into eternity and seeing the last true final frontier and being ready for it. And I like that a lot because it adds this mystique and vulnerability to his death. It's not just him being a cowboy at the end. It was fun. And then the oh my, I think it's one of the best parts of the movie. I think it adds depth to the entire experience in writing. But that's me.
No, I really like it too, and it's I think his delivery leaves it open, to some interpretation, which I like. But I just for Kirk, I think back on Star Trek V. I think back to Star Trek II. That for him, he's had movies where he's grappled with themes of death so often, right? Oh man, I love the old school Star Trek emblem with just the perfect circle with that bar behind it that goes on the maroon uniform. It's probably my favorite. Yeah. Incarnation of the Starfleet Delta, but I think that there is so much there that's that you can interpret about Kirk looking at literally staring death in the face, right?
Yeah,
it's
great, and the pile of rocks was always weird to me. He dragged
did a lot
the
of work.
body. Yeah,
it's a lot of work
in the hot sun. Yeah. And he's just sitting there thinking, is his ship destroyed? Where is everybody? The amount of confusion that he must be having at this moment.
Yeah, because Picard has no idea a space battle even happened, right?
Yeah, he shouldn't, no.
Yeah, I mean, now, to be fair, I mean, he doesn't even have a communicator on him, right? Because when he beams down, he doesn't have a communicator on him. So
nope.
That's probably right here. The shuttle flying in might be the weakest effect shot of the entire movie. It was just
I know it's so bad.
Something about it. I mean, this all looks good, but that one shot of the shuttle with Picard was just rough. This
the casualties were light.
Yeah. So yeah,
that doesn't mean there's not dead people, bro.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I am glad
This is a
here
good scene for
you
this,
do get
like,
Troy and Data right here.
mhm. This is a good scene for kind of tying up his subplot.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, bringing Spot back. I mean, this is one of those two where the cat is such a Spot is such a great. This is like a perfect use of just there's not going to be. I mean, there's probably a few jaded idiots in the audience, but this is such a great way to kind of wrap this up emotionally with Spot. I mean, I'm much more a dog person than a cat person, but this still moves me. I mean, this is good stuff.
It is, and I love cats. And this makes me think of stuff like last year my wife lost her cat. He passed away. We had to put him down. Of 22 years, and she's still mourning that cat. And like, I've never seen a bond between a human and an animal so close, and it was such a major loss. And it's really put stuff like this into perspective, because I've always loved animals, but I've never had an animal or a pet that was my own.
Hmm.
So that type of bond between owner and everything like that is, it hits harder now than it used to for me, because I genuinely love cats, and that bond between pet and owner is just great.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a tiny cotton? Okay, his fish must have died in his aquarium there.
Yeah, his fish. I was thinking that dead fish.
You know,
And
well,
look,
and this
rock.
album, this album was in his quarters, and now it's in his ready room, because they're in his ready room here. So
I mean,
I want to talk about this. They were again, Ron Moore and Ron Barger, they were talking about the fact that this was really where the Next Gen crew kind of said goodbye to the show. Apparently, that because when they wrapped up All Good Things, because they were going immediately into this movie. I mean, well, not immediately, but very quickly, and all the sets were staying up. That there really wasn't a sense of like closure, and that this apparently that the entire crew was here. Like I did this soundstage was packed with people apparently when they shot this, because like this was the big emotional end for the Next Gen crew to these sets, to the Enterprise D. That like this behind the scenes was truly where they all kind of had their closure and said goodbye to the show. And I found that interesting. It makes sense though watching this.
huh? That's interesting. I didn't realize that, but yeah,
Because this was the
this
set,
scene,
right? I mean,
they actually
they
messed it up. But
yeah.
this scene was always weird to me. Like Riker with the whole line about how he plans to live forever. Like,
He's just being cheeky.
I know, it was always strange to me.
But I yeah. Oh, random 3 starships. Again, in the return, isn't one of these like in orbit, like destroyed by a Romulan ship almost immediately, or something like that?
No, it was a little bit later, as they were trying to get the saucer out. What's interesting is that several people said this. Okay, what you had there at the end was the USS Farragut, a Nebula class starship warping away, and a whole bunch of people thought that it was some sort of ship that was designed to have picked up and carried the saucer, because behind the scenes,
Yeah.
the Nebula class was just kit bashed together. They were just taking parts of ships they had, and they stuck a freaking Galaxy class saucer on it. So a bunch of people thought that was the saucer of the Enterprise being carried away. Which was just
I can totally see somebody who's not familiar with story, because people like you and me would go like, oh yeah, it's a Nebula class ship. We've seen it in The Wounded. We've seen it in Data Commanded One and the Romulan the Klingon Civil War episode. I mean, there was it's a known. Obviously, it's basically a Miranda. It's a Galaxy Miranda, right? The same idea of taking components and just rearranging, like you said, kit bashing. But yeah, I could see somebody who doesn't, a very casual fan, thinking that, oh, did they get the whole? Did they just take the ship with them? I mean, that makes sense. I hadn't heard that before, but that does make sense for I call them a casual fan or audience member.
And then Of course, again, because it's all just nostalgia bait. Uh, though I think well done nostalgia bait. Picard season 3 takes the saucer and actually reveals that it was salvaged
Yeah.
and brought off of the planet due to the Prime Directive, so it wouldn't be discovered by the
Yeah.
natives.
Well, I mean, in the
Um,
earlier scene, they did establish that there were people on the planet, like millions of them.
yeah, and they then put it on the body of another Galaxy class ship whose saucer was destroyed in the Dominion War from Deep Space Nine, and Geordi was, as like a pet project he wanted to surprise them with someday, fixing it up, and it ends up being the hero ship at the end of Picard season 3, where it does like a Wedge Antilles Death Star run on a board cube.
It flies around like a fighter.
And I love it.
Yeah.
It's like I hate it, but I love it.
No, it is a very much a mixture for me too. Like I was grinning the whole time, and I'm also like I have major problems with it, but I was smiling the whole time watching it. So yeah, I can't complain too loud.
Yeah. So it this is one of those things where in some ways this movie is actually better to me because I like what they ended up doing with some of the lore established in it. Like Picard season 3 actually. I keep saying season 3 by the way because season 2 is such utter crap.
Yeah.
That I don't even want to acknowledge that it exists, and number 1 is a massive mixed bag.
Yeah.
But season 3 just uses so much from this movie and others in a way that I really liked. And it kind of makes it a little bit better watching this going, they took something from this and they made it better.
Yeah, this movie is okay. So, question: where would you rank this in the bad? Like, because I think we both agree there's more bad than good, but like in the Star Trek V, Star Trek One, Into Darkness, Nemesis, like where would you rank? Because to me, this is one of the better of the bad ones, but still bad. But that's me. Where would you put this?
Let me think about this. Okay. So the worst of the worst is going to be Into Darkness.
Yes.
Which I actually have some trouble with actually saying because it's a competently made sci-fi action film, but just a travesty of a Star Trek. Whereas Star Trek V is just not good.
No.
So for me, it has to go like worst is going to be Into Darkness, then it's going to be Star Trek V, then it's going to be Nemesis. The issue comes for me with Insurrection versus this. They're very on par with one another for me.
See, to me,
so they're right about there. Then you start getting into the ones that you're actually just like, okay, this is good with problems, like motion picture.
Yeah. I think that this is, to me, this is better than Insurrection, but worse than motion picture, for me.
Okay, yeah, that fits exactly with what I would think, because I would then put like Star Trek Beyond, because that movie has problems, but I would much rather watch Star Trek Beyond than Star Trek the Motion Picture.
I can see that.
But that's me.
Yeah. Oh no, that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, we've talked about it many times, and when we get to that movie, we will talk about it again. I don't like Beyond as much as you, but I totally acknowledge that there's a lot to love there, and I don't be like, people who say they like Into Darkness, I will fight. People who say they like Beyond, I have no problem with.
Yeah, I love the use of classical music.
It's good. Oh man, I do love that they give Bones and Spock so many good. I mean, Carl Urban and Zachary Quinto are
Quinto.
They're really good together in that movie. So,
oh yeah,
yeah,
and they make Kirk a strategist again.
Yeah.
Like they actually make him a clever, cunning leader who does good and smart things.
Yeah. No, I definitely have some issues, but we'll definitely get to those. And
we'll talk about that in about a year from now.
Yeah, about to say I'm actually looking forward to the Kelvin trilogy because there is a lot of good conversation to have there. I'm not looking forward to Into Darkness to watching it.
Oh,
but
I am.
No, but let me finish. As I say, I'm not looking forward to watching it again, but I'm definitely looking forward to talking about it with you. So.
Excellent,
yeah.
Excellent.
But we do need to get going. But this has been a lot of fun. This is a movie that, despite all of its problems, I have such nostalgia for these characters, and the highs of this movie are still enough where, as much as I would never call it good, I still enjoy it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, if I was telling somebody who's into Star Trek for the first time and they don't want to watch all the crap, there's certain episodes I tell them to watch, certain episodes I tell them to skip, I would not tell them to skip this movie.
No.
I would warn them it's not very good, but don't skip it. Where I would tell them, skip Insurrection. And if you're okay with a spoiler, skip Nemesis.
Yeah, you can just give them a quick summary, and that's all they need.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just watch the space battle and call it a day. So, but we will. I'm looking forward to next week. First Contact is. Spoiler. It's a good movie.
Oh my God!
So
and he piled up on the whale's white hump, the sum of all the rage and hate felt by his whole race.
Yeah.
If his chest had been a cannon, he would have shot his heart upon it.
You can tell that's Stuart. That's the movie where Stuart was like, I got some stuff I want to do, and you're going to let me do it. And they said, okay. So.
Now, one last thing I'm going to say. One very last thing.
Right.
For anybody who doesn't really... who likes good musical scores, go and listen to Star Trek Generations The Overture, which is not played in its entirety in this movie. Only parts of it are.
Yeah.
It is like the second or third best piece of music ever written for Star Trek.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
If you like that kind of thing.
Yeah. I agree.
Anyway, that's all.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Live long and prosper, folks.
Aww.
There's doors and corners, kid. If you don't clear the room, if you don't come in slow, that room will eat you.